Chapter 1050. Dubai, I'm coming for you. Before Lawrence died, he seemed to have seen something. His hopeless expression relaxed and turned into relief. Then he fell to the ground and dropped his cane. He lost his life completely. But the remaining two archmages retreated under Wang Luo's attack. Although Wang Luo has a head of white hair, he is able to kill his way in and out as though he is invincible. With a mental shield in his left hand and an imperial sword in his right, every time he walks past a place, he would kill all the local mages. The four tanks were ready to move, but Wang Luo only used his mental power to turn the barrel of one of the tanks to aim at his comrade and fire. The tank troops killed each other and very quickly, they became scrap metal. Not long after, the troops that were sent over are almost all massacred. Wang Luo carries a sword as though he is invincible. Because too many mages have died, the mental suppression on Li Fan finally weakened. He stood up again and pulled out his extraordinary great spear. Dragging it behind him, he also killed the enemies around him. The two archmages looked at each other and felt that they could not hold on any longer, so they decided to retreat first. One sword of China is enough of a headache. Now there is another martial artist, Li Fan. What should they do? Retreat. The two archmages finally gave the order to retreat, but there is almost no one left alive to carry out this order. There are only 2 or 3 survivors left, and all of them are injured. Did you see your weakness? Wang Luo has a head of white hair. Different from the handsome man from before, the current him is as thin as a skeleton. Like a candle in the wind, it seems like he will die at any moment. Thank you. Li Fan looked at Wang Luo in front of him and was filled with emotions. This man who did not look like a decent man, in order to save him, he almost lost his life. Don't pity me. Wang Luo stared at him. I did not become like this because I helped you. Everyone will die one day. This is my fate. But before my life ends, I need to find the next generation sword of China. Let me think about it. If I have the time. Wang Luo sheathed her sword. It's fate that we've met. Before I die, I'll at least help you train your spiritual power. You want me to cultivate with you? More or less. I'll find someone to help you send this girl back to China. You and I will continue to stay abroad for a while. But the Holy War is currently being carried out in the country. Wang Luo reminded Li Fan, if you don't get rid of your shortcomings, you will still be targeted after you return to the country. If the British can discover it, so can they. All right, Li Fan agreed first. In order to increase his strength, it seemed like a good idea to train with Wang Luo for a while. He followed Wang Luo to the port, handed Shen Shen over to a friend of Wang Luo's and continued to stay in London with Wang Luo. Is it okay for us to stay here? Li Fan couldn't help but ask as he followed Wang Luo back to the small house. They think we've already returned to Huaxia. Wang Luo chuckled. I think that since they failed this time, they will probably choose to use diplomatic methods to force you to commit the crime. Diplomatic methods? Yes, provide some kind of benefit to the country's higher-ups and then extradite you abroad. I won't agree to that. I've said it before, you have too many cases on you. Wang Luo reminded Li Fan, just give you 2 cases and you'll become a notorious murderer. Unless you take over the Shangfang sword, then no one has the right to hand it over to you, because you'll be the symbol of Huaxia. Wang Luo looked at the Shangfang sword hanging on the wall. Although it was a sword left behind from the Han Dynasty, it was still well preserved. The scabbard was even carved with a 5-clawed golden dragon, vivid and lifelike. Where are you bringing me to train? Li Fan changed the topic. Rest for a night. I'll bring you to the Vatican tomorrow. Ah? Why are we going there? The Pope there owes me a favor. It's time for him to repay the debt. How are we going to go there? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. You'll know tomorrow. Go to sleep first and conserve your energy. Wang Luo pointed to the sofa in the living room and then returned to his room. Li Fan didn't know what to say to him. He could only toss his body onto the sofa and recall the recent events. After coming to England, it seemed like many things were messed up. His phone was also taken away by Wang Luo. For the time being, he couldn't contact Lin Yuixin and the rest. He hoped that they wouldn't worry about him. Shen Shen should be able to return safely. Since he was Wang Luo's man, there shouldn't be any problems. While Li Fan was fighting for his life in London, the pugilistic world of Huaxia was also in turmoil. Shaolin. 108 arhats stood in the dojo outside. Each of them held a arhat staff in their hands, and all of them were pointing at a young man standing in the middle. Amitabha. The Shaolin abbot stood on the steps and looked at the young man who was surrounded by the formation. He couldn't help but recite the name of Buddha before asking. Almsgiver, we have no enmity in the past and no grievances today. Why do you want to kill my Shaolin disciple? The young man stood in the middle without saying a word. He just reached out and grabbed the bald head of a Shaolin arhat beside him. His 5 fingers pierced through his skull. Tiger Claw. Amitabha. If that's the case, then let's let Almsgiver calm down first. The abbot tapped the staff in his hand. Arhat formation. The remaining 107 arhats moved together. Everyone followed the formation and walked in circles while waving their arhat staffs to attack the young man. However, the young man was unmoved. He didn't care if he was hit by the arhat staffs. Every time he blocked the staffs, the monks he touched would be torn in half. Soon, the young man was covered in wounds and many of the monks in the arhat formation were either injured or dead. 12 monks suddenly stabbed out their arhat staffs at the young man's body and lifted him into the air. Before the young man could react, an arhat had already jumped behind him and smashed his head with a staff. Amitabha. The abbot couldn't help but tap the staff, his face full of shame. But no matter what, Shaolin's crisis this time was finally resolved. However, before he could breathe a sigh of relief, a dozen figures suddenly walked over from the opposite courtyard. Each of these figures was wearing a special combat suit, and they all looked exactly the same. The abbot looked at them and sucked in a breath of cold air. No matter how strong his Buddhist heart was, he couldn't hold it in this time. Amitabha. No, unbelievable. Chapter 1051. These dozens of people all had the appearance of the little tyrant. Like an army, they walked into the dojo. Why are there so many? Amitabha, this isn't a dream, right? These monks were all dumbfounded. What situation is this? This isn't a joke, right? Amitabha, perhaps, this is our Shaolin's calamity. The abbot raised the Buddha's staff in his hand and said loudly, "This old monk will meet them personally." He faced the little tyrant army, his eyes filled with determination. The Shaolin monks and the little tyrant army clashed together. Li Fan suddenly sat up and wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. "You're awake?" Wang Luo stood in the kitchen, preparing breakfast. He was wearing the singlet and shorts that he wore the first time they met. Just by looking at his back, he was no different from an ordinary old man. "You woke up quite early. There are still 2 hours before the appointed time. You can sleep for a while more." "I had a nightmare, I couldn't sleep." Li Fan wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. "I'm not going to sleep, I'm going to practice some boxing." Li Fan's daily training was a must. This was his unshakable rule. "This is rare, a lot of martial artists nowadays are lazy." Wang Luo grumbled while cooking. "A young martial artist like you who cultivates both internal and external martial arts is rare. Eat first, we can fight after eating." "Actually, I'm very curious." Li Fan wore his sportswear and asked, "China is a vast land with many experts. Why did you choose me?" "There were a lot of people in my shortlist at the beginning." Wang Luo laughed. "Other than you, there are 2 more. One is Murong Ying, the other is Jiang Feng." "The 2 of them?" "Yes, it's them. Among the 2, Murong Ying is the strongest, the most talented, and the first to catch my eye. But I didn't choose her, because she is a member of Murong family, and has always carried the responsibility of Murong family. She can't let go of Murong family, so she can't be the sword of the state. I can't let go of my escort agency either. An escort agency is different from a family clan." Wang Luo said without turning her head. "Murong Ying can't let go of Murong's family for even a minute. What about you? Didn't you just let your subordinates take care of the escort agency?" I'm training them well." Li Fan laughed dryly. "What about the other one? How is Jiang Feng?" "Jiang Feng? Actually, I think more highly of him. Wang Luo sighed with emotion. Don't think that you're stronger than him. He actually has more potential than you, and he has more perseverance and tenacity. It's a pity that I don't have much time to train him. Can't you teach him the Shang Fang sword first? Hearing Wang Luo praise his mortal enemy, Li Fan felt slightly displeased in his heart. But even though he was unhappy, Li Fan couldn't say anything else. Of course not. Wang Luo served 2 servings of egg fried rice. He has his own goal in his heart, and for this goal he will do anything. If I teach him the Shang Fang sword, after I die, he will abuse the power of the Shang Fang sword just to achieve his own goal. Damn, why is it egg fried rice again? Do you only know how to cook one dish? Nonsense. This is different from yesterday's egg fried rice. Wang Luo emphasized. How is it different? This egg fried rice, I added chopped green onions. Li Fan felt a little powerless to complain. How is this different? In Buddhism, eggs are considered vegetarian, but chopped green onions are meat. Wang Luo chuckled. So, yesterday I let you eat a vegetarian dish, and today I let you eat a meat dish. Of course it's different. Li Fan was speechless and didn't know how to refute. But to put it bluntly, wasn't it still egg fried rice? Alright. It's good enough that you have something to eat. It's better than not having anything to eat, right? Alright, thank you for the breakfast. That's more like it. Learn from me this month. If you can't stand my training method, you can quit anytime. Wang Luo reminded Li Fan, but Li Fan smiled. There's nothing I can't endure. Is that so? Wang Luo revealed a smile, but it made Li Fan tremble in fear. This old man, what is he thinking? It's about time. After Li Fan finished a set of 7 hero fist, Wang Luo looked at the clock on the wall. It's about time for us to set off. How do we go to the Vatican? Just like that. As Wang Luo spoke, she opened the door of the washroom. A magician wearing a cloak stumbled in and almost fell. Luckily, Wang Luo supported him. Pierce, you are still so flustered. Wang Luo, you lunatic. After Pierce came in, he looked around nervously and scolded. Now the entire association of mages is after you, and you still dare to ask for my help. Oh, my dear Pierce, you are the president of the Association of Mages. Can't you just remove the warrant? You are crazy. Only this won't do. Pierce was so angry that he vomited blood. If I didn't owe you a favor, I would never help you. My dear Pierce, you don't lose anything by helping me this time. We can leave London peacefully, and you won't have any casualties, right? You shameless bastard. Pierce angrily scolded Wang Luo, get out of London. I don't want to see you again. As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and pulled the washroom door again. The world behind the door changed under the effect of his magic. Li Fan, let's go. Thank you, Pierce, we don't owe each other anymore. Wang Luo picked up the Shang Fang sword and went through the washroom door first. Let's go. Pierce glanced at Li Fan and urged, the next time we meet, I will personally catch you and bring you back. All right, let's meet again if there's a chance. Li Fan winked at the president of the Association of Mages and then followed through the washroom door. After entering, in a blink of an eye, Li Fan came to another room. This room was decorated in a typical European style. There were white European-style tables and chairs, and in the middle, there was a big round bed. A bald man was lying on the bed with 2 girls in his arms. Their skin color was different, one black and one white, a rich variety. Damn fatty, wake up. Wang Luo kicked the bed, causing the 3 people on the bed to fall off. Fuck. The fatty on the bed fell down, and his butt hurt as he couldn't help but curse. Hey, fatty, we meet again. Did you miss me? Wang Luo squatted on the floor and smiled at the fatty who was cursing. The fatty looked at Wang Luo and was dumbfounded. Chapter 1052. Why is it you? When the fatty saw Wang Luo, he quickly got up and put on his pants. The 2 girls were bored to death. They got up and pestered the fatty, seemingly wanting to have sex. However, Fatty kicked the 2 of them away and pulled out a book from the bookshelf next to him. The bookshelf slowly slid to the side, revealing a secret door, allowing the two girls to walk out from this door. Motherfucker, why didn't you tell me you were coming? Are you trying to ambush me? This fatty had white skin and blue eyes. He was obviously a foreigner, but his mouth spoke fluent Chinese. I don't need to tell you that I'm here. Wang Luo casually sat on the table next to him, smiling as she looked at the man who was busy putting on his clothes. The fatty put on a gorgeous pope robe, then put on a crown, then glared at Wang Luo. Wang Luo, you're a devil, whoever you've helped will be unlucky. The fatty cursed angrily. This isn't just helping you. Wang Luo took out a holy sword, playing with it in her hand. If I didn't help you, you wouldn't be able to become the pope. Yes, you Wang Luo are amazing. I'm deeply grateful, okay? The fatty couldn't be arrogant in front of Wang Luo. He walked to the window and looked outside. You actually dared to bring this person here. Do you know that the British Magic Association has already issued a kill order for him? What? Do you lack the Magic Association's money? Wang Luo raised her eyebrows and asked. Of course not. Tell me first, why did you bring him here? The fatty adjusted his attitude very quickly. He became very serious, looked at Li Fan and asked. My dear Chinese friend, it's not safe for you to be here. What? You can't even protect one person in your territory. Wang Luo looked at the Pope mockingly. No, of course I can, but there's still time. The Pope took off the crown and put on his wig. There are a lot of eyes here, they're staring at me, making me feel very restrained. I really don't see how you're restrained. Wang Luo pouted. Li Fan also wanted to complain, but it was his first time meeting the Pope, so he held it in. You can't just look at some things on the surface, my dear friend. The Pope opened another secret door and invited Li Fan and the others to enter. Li Fan and Wang Luo walked in and found that there was a secret church built inside. This is the place where I hear God's will. The Pope looked at the magnificent secret church and felt a burst of pride. Only in the Church of God would such a magnificent secret cathedral be built. This is the power of a God. It's the power of faith. Wang Luo complained. Li Fan admired the beautiful and magnificent cathedral, and his heart was filled with emotion. The church was surrounded by 12 angels, each of which was 10 meters tall, representing a character from the Bible. And Jesus was hanging on the cross, right in front of the church. At the same time, there was a beautiful oil painting at the top of the church, which seemed to be telling a story from the Bible. These amazing facilities undoubtedly impacted Li Fan's heart. This was not the work of a god, it belonged to humans. Only human beings could create such great art. Speak, why did you bring him here, my dear friend? Naturally, I brought him here for you to train him, my dear holiness. Wang Luo's words caused the Pope to ponder. He sized up Li Fan, seemingly thinking about something. The Pope's gaze caused Li Fan's chrysanthemum to clench, and he subconsciously gathered his true qi, bringing along hostility. He looks quite handsome, but compared to my boy toy, he is still lacking a lot. Scram! Wang Luo kicked the fatty's butt. Who is here for your heavy taste? I brought him here for spiritual power training. The Pope was a little doubtful. Wouldn't it be better for you to do this yourself? If I were to do it, he would directly have a mental breakdown. Wang Luo immediately rejected the Pope's suggestion. I still have to let you do it. Are you saying that I am inferior to you? The Pope was a little unhappy. No, my dear holiness, you misunderstood. It is not that you are weaker than me. Before the Pope could calm down, Wang Luo followed up with another sentence. It is that I am stronger than you. You are fucking right. The Pope returned to his ruffian appearance. I can't deal with you, but I can deal with this kid. At that time, I will let him have a good time. That is your own business, just don't kill him. The conversation between the two made Li Fan depressed. Listening to their words made him feel weird. Then let's begin. The Pope seemed to know that Wang Luo and Li Fan's time was limited. He walked to the front of the cross, extended his scepter, and pointed at Li Fan. Come over, come in front of me, I will train you. Wang Luo's face was indeed very big. This Vatican Pope also wanted to help him train him. Li Fan was also unwilling to waste time, and directly walked in front of the Pope. If you can't stand it, remember to tell me. The Pope smiled at Li Fan, but I will not stop. With that, the Pope's eyes suddenly emitted a white light. Li Fan's body trembled. He felt that at that moment, he seemed to have lost himself. Immediately, Li Fan found himself tied to a cross, and it was upside down. Below his body was a blazing flame, burning his body. The pain of the flames burning his body caused Li Fan to scream again and again. At the same time, many crows flew down from above and began to tear the flesh on Li Fan's body. This burning and dismembering pain caused Li Fan to scream uncontrollably. Li Fan was in extreme pain. He knew that this was just an illusion, but it was precisely this illusion that made him unable to bear it. Because every pain was real, a person's pain was originally a reaction from the brain to the nerves, it was a kind of danger signal. The Pope's mental power directly acted on Li Fan's brain, giving Li Fan a terrifying danger signal. In this fiery red sky, a human face appeared. It was the Pope's fat face. If you can't bear it, you can beg for mercy. The Pope laughed. I love to hear people beg for mercy the most. Li Fan even held back his screams. This is considered a motherfucker. Put in more effort. Interesting. The Pope's huge face appeared in the sky. I want to see how long you can last in my heart-piercing hell. Then let's give it a try. Li Fan was enduring enormous pain, but he clenched his teeth, silently enduring this pain. In this place, Li Fan's true chi was useless. No energy could be used. The only thing he could use was his brain and willpower. Chapter 1053. Li Fan felt like a year had passed. He fainted a few times from the pain, but his brain was woken up by the Pope, and he had to endure this unbearable pain again. But the Pope's face appeared again, and told Li Fan that only an hour had passed. Others might live a day like a year, but for Li Fan, hours were like years. This kind of pain, not to mention an hour, even a second would make a person collapse. But Li Fan endured it. And whether it was the Pope or Wang Luo, none of them had the intention to let Li Fan rest, and kept torturing him. In such an environment, Li Fan continued to endure the torture. The human brain had a protective mechanism. If a normal person had to endure this kind of pain, they would definitely faint. But the Pope forced Li Fan's mind to stay awake, to experience the pain that penetrated deep into his bones. And the punishment mechanism was changed almost every day. When Li Fan got used to a certain kind of pain, the Pope would change to a new kind of torture method to make him fall into hell again. It was like the 18 levels of hell, 18 kinds of torture, to let Li Fan experience one by one. Li Fan's pain couldn't stop, and he slowly understood. If he didn't want to feel pain, he had to learn to resist this pain signal that came from the outside. At the same time, the pain could also amplify Li Fan's brain waves. It's been almost a month, he still can't do it. The Pope looked at Li Fan, who was lying on the ground with a face full of stubble, and shook his head at Wang Luo, who was sitting next to him. It's been so many days, and he still can't grasp the technique of mental power. This is the bottleneck of a martial fighter. Wang Luo couldn't help but sigh. He put all of his focus on training his vital energy and physique, so even though he's accomplished in martial arts, he can't feel the power of mental power. If he continues to train, he might die. The Pope asked cautiously, why don't we give up? Hold on for another 2 days. If he really can't do it, we can only give up on him. Wang Luo said, the mental power of the Shangfang sword must be strong, it must not be controlled by others. It was really difficult for a martial fighter to learn mental power. Even his master's spiritual power was very weak, and he only understood a little. Only when it came to Wang Luo's generation, because he was a person who had been transformed, especially after walking the line between life and death, his mental power was abnormally strong. Then I'll try again. You should be mentally prepared. He might turn into a lunatic at any time. After being tortured for so long, the Pope did not believe that the young man could still be normal. He once again entered Li Fan's spiritual world to look at this pitiful person who had been suffering day after day. How is this pain? 2 days later, the Pope's big face once again appeared in front of Li Fan. Even Wang Luo is about to give up on you. You're too disappointing. He plans to leave this place today, and you will die here. I will use your corpse to claim the reward. Although I didn't care about money, the Magic Association's asking price this time was a bit high. After all, I'm not a god, and my heart will be moved. Really? After a few days, faced with the Pope's provocation, Li Fan spoke again. You can still talk to me? Looks like I've underestimated you. But this is also a kind of final radiance of the setting sun. A normal person would have gone crazy after being tortured by me like this. Indeed, I'm going crazy, but there's always someone beside my ear telling me to stay rational and not lose. Who told you that? Don't you see him? He's been sitting here the whole time. Mr. Yang sat on a pillar at the side, holding a cane in his hand, dressed like a standard gentleman. If he was also wearing a tuxedo, he would almost be the same as those mages from the Magic Association. Who is he? Seeing this figure, the Pope was shocked. He actually did not feel another person's mental power? How is this possible? I'm in charge of fighting, he's in charge of providing me with mental power. As Li Fan spoke, he ordered Mr. Yang, do me a favor and drag him in. Yes, my friend. Mr. Yang bowed to Li Fan and then pulled with both of his hands. The Pope couldn't control his own mental power, and his consciousness was directly pulled into his brain by Li Fan. The moment the Pope entered, the terrible hell also disappeared, and a clean lake appeared in front of him. Li Fan quietly stood in the middle of the lake, both of his feet stepping on the surface of the lake, and Mr. Yang stood beside him. Do you see, this is my world? Li Fan pointed around. This is the visualization world of every martial artist. There used to be 2 terrible strong people here. But now they're gone, completely absorbed by me. As he said, he waved his hand, and the surrounding scene quickly changed. In the blink of an eye, it turned into the secret church that the Pope secretly built. You see, this is your favorite place, a beautiful cathedral. Beside Li Fan were a few Tiger Gate cannons, but if there are 2 rounds of cannons, I don't know if it can still maintain this beautiful appearance. You can't hurt them. They are the will of God, and also the great cultural heritage of mankind. You can't stand it already? Your mental defense is too weak. Li Fan waved his hand, and the church cracked. The Pope clenched his teeth, but he endured it. A door was smashed, and Wang Luo walked into Li Fan's mind. Li Fan, what are you doing? Wang Luo saw the Pope was imprisoned in Li Fan's world, and quickly used his mental power to run in to take a look. You're here? Wang Luo did help Li Fan a lot, and Li Fan was very grateful to him. But now, Li Fan felt an even more terrible power. The sea around him was blue, and there seemed to be a ship sailing in the distance, as if it was on some ocean. Li Fan pointed at a green island in front. That is Demon Island. The birthplace of the demon. Wang Luo also knew that place, but he had never been there. Because Demon Island was a mysterious place, no one knew where it was, and everyone wanted to go there. Yes, I can feel it, a terrible crisis. Li Fan pointed at Demon Island, and his face was gloomy. Mr. Yang told me that there is a terrible existence on the island, and it seems to be awakening. But I don't know where he is, and he is hiding very well. I'm afraid you have to solve the matter of Demon Island by yourself. Wang Luo shrugged his shoulders. There is only one thing I can help you with now. What is it? You have taken an unconventional path, and your mental power has reached a certain level. Wang Luo glanced at Mr. Yang, who was tortured to become stronger. So, I will bring you back to China to help you kill a person you have always wanted to kill. You want me to owe you a favor? Chapter 1054. Li Fan doesn't understand Wang Luo's intention, but he still followed this person back to China. No matter what, Wang Luo has been helping him all this while. There is no doubt about this. Li Fan followed Wang Luo and set off from Phoenix King's Yellow Springs Road all the way to Yunggare region. This place belongs to the Golden Triangle, the world of drug dealers. Even the devil incarnate, Wang Tofu, is unable to set up his own smuggling route in this place. This area is filled with all sorts of gangs, and there are also many countries and organizations supporting them. It is not that easy to conquer the Golden Triangle. In this chaotic dark area, Wang Luo and Li Fan sit in a jeep and travel through the forest. Who are we going to meet? After sitting in the car for a long time, Li Fan still can't help but ask. Young people really don't have any patience. The current Wang Luo has aged a lot and looks like an old man with one foot in the grave. He curls up into a ball at the back of the jeep as if he is in deep sleep, but because of his mental power he is able to stay awake. You follow me. Do you think I will sell you out? I am just a bit bored, so I asked. Li Fan mutters. Bro, who are you talking to? The driver smokes as he drives. Suddenly hearing Li Fan talking to himself, he can't help but ask. Li Fan doesn't know how to explain. It seems like Wang Luo doesn't even have the strength to speak and is using his mental power to talk to Li Fan. Not far from here is the Dragon King Temple. The driver feels a bit awkward as he points to the bushes in front and says, it has been abandoned for many years, but occasionally there will still be people going in to pay their respects. After all, we used to believe in the Dragon King and believe that the Dragon King will bless everyone with a smooth journey. After all, there are quite a lot of people running around here, you know? The driver is very straightforward, so Li Fan knows what he is referring to. Just stop in front. Hearing Wang Luo's reminder, Li Fan opens his mouth to tell the driver. Brother, there's a group of vicious people here. You have to be careful. To be honest, if you don't ask me to stop, I wouldn't dare to move forward. Let's meet again. The driver instructed Li Fan and then left both of them on the side of the road. Do you want me to carry you? Li Fan couldn't help but ask as he looked at Wang Luo, who was wobbling as she walked and almost had to use a walking stick to move forward. I'm not that old yet. Wang Luo rolled his eyes at Li Fan. Save some of your strength, or else you won't be able to escape later. Escape? Of course. This time, we're going to meet a very scary guy. Wang Luo reminded Li Fan, this time, it's a huge gamble. I hope I can win. Gambling? Li Fan didn't know who Wang Luo wanted to see, but since he was already here, he would follow him to the end. Wang Luo, this person, always schemed very deeply. No one knew what he was thinking about all day. This old guy is simply an old fox. Just as Li Fan was thinking, Wang Luo's eyes lit up. A huge rock suddenly flew up and headed towards Li Fan. Li Fan didn't even raise his head. Mr. Yang, who was standing beside him, extended his hand and used his spiritual power to control this huge rock. The huge rock stopped a meter away from Li Fan. Li Fan waved his hand and used his true chi to crush the rock. No need to test me. Li Fan said, I didn't train for this month for nothing. That's good. Wang Luo was secretly surprised. To actually use another spiritual body as a part of his strength to protect himself, this is really scary. Sure enough, choosing Li Fan was the right choice, but it was also very risky. Would he be able to win this gamble or not? Wang Luo brought Li Fan and walked towards the dilapidated Dragon King Temple. However, just as they got closer, Wang Luo suddenly stopped and took a step back. A bullet landed in front of his feet, and at the same time, a warning voice flew out. Step back, this is not a place you should be. A row of people stood up from the grass. Each of them was armed with loaded guns. They seemed to be a group of drug dealers. I'm sorry, everyone. Li Fan said, I have something to do. Can you let me pass? Bullshit. Don't you understand what I'm saying? A man who was smoking heard Li Fan's words and immediately became angry. It seems like you don't want to live anymore. Kill them. In this place, killing people is just a daily occurrence. Two drug dealers raised their pistols and aimed at Li Fan. Li Fan waved his hand, and the two of them immediately aimed their pistols at their companions. What are you doing? Stop! Before the smoking brother could react, his two underlings had already shot many of his companions, leaving him alone. The two of them pointed their pistols at his head at the same time. This made the drug dealer, who was used to big scenes, feel a little scared. Who are these two people? He couldn't understand. Could they be from another gang? Why haven't I seen them before? And these two underlings of his had climbed out of a storm of bullets together. They were friends who had gone through life and death together. When did they become traitors? Forget it, Li Fan. Let him live. Wang Luo finally spoke. Just let him scram a little further away. We are here to find that person. That person? The cigarette in the brother's mouth fell to the ground. He hurriedly begged for mercy. Sirs, I had eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. I offended the wrong person. Please let the three of us go. Li Fan couldn't be bothered to kill them. He waved his hand and the remaining 3 drug dealers ran away. Let's go in. Wang Luo walked to the entrance of the Dragon King Temple. This old temple door creaked open by itself. Immediately, a fishy and damp smell came out from inside. Li Fan followed and walked in. He realized that the Dragon King Temple was already broken beyond recognition. The head of the Dragon King statue that was placed in front had already fallen off. Only half of the body was still standing there. It was unknown if it could still shelter this area from the wind and rain. After Wang Luo walked in, a figure appeared beside the Dragon King's statue out of nowhere and bowed to Wang Luo. I didn't know that sirs had arrived. Please forgive me for not going out to welcome you. Let's not talk nonsense. Bring me to see that sirs. Wang Luo's words made Li Fan suddenly understand. Wait. He grabbed Wang Luo's collar and asked, You brought me to see Sirs Liao? Oh, so you know him? Wang Luo laughed. It was Wang Jian who told you, right? He really has a big mouth. Why did you bring me to see him? Li Fan asked. Chapter 1055. I did not bring you here to see him, I brought you here to kill him. Wang Luo communicated with Li Fan using his spiritual power, not caring if others heard it. This person is still alive. Sooner or later he will come to kill you. So, you must kill him. Wang Luo is very ruthless. So, this matter must be resolved. Is that person very strong? Why are you not willing to mention his name? Because I also do not know what his name is. Wang Luo shrugs his shoulders. Everyone calls him that lord. The reason why I know his surname is Liao is because he has a daughter with the surname Liao outside. Is he very strong? Of course he is. Wang Luo does not hesitate. After all, in the whole of China, the only person I cannot defeat is him. Since you cannot defeat him, why are you here? Li Fan looks outside the door. We can still make it if we leave now. Why, are you afraid? What is there to be afraid of? But I do not want to fight for no reason. You do not need to do anything. This is my matter. I will deal with it myself. Wang Luo tells Li Fan, in the past I had to leave some leeway, but today, I can risk my life. Li Fan looks at Wang Luo's aging body, not knowing how much more he can risk his life. But no matter what, since he is already at this Lord Liao's place, he might as well take a look. He is also very curious about this so-called Lord Liao. Just follow me closely. Wang Luo follows that Lord Liao's subordinate and opens the secret passage. The Dragon King's statue slowly moves, revealing a big hole below. Li Fan follows Wang Luo, takes a torch from the wall and holds it in his hand. Without this torch, Li Fan can still see in the night. But Wang Luo cannot. His body is no different from an old man, holding the wall, slowly moving forward in the dim light. In the light, Li Fan feels that Wang Luo's back is getting older, as if he will die at any moment. This old man, can he still hold on until he sees the so-called Lord Liao? This tunnel is very deep, not knowing where it leads to. The three of them walked for more than 10 minutes and finally arrived in front of a majestic underground palace. When Li Fan first saw the secret church, he was shocked. It was truly a magnificent building. However, it paled in comparison to the underground palace in front of him. This underground palace was so majestic that Li Fan thought he was looking at the Forbidden City. This underground palace could not have been built by modern people. After all, it had left traces of history and time on it. It should be an underground tomb that belonged to some emperor in the underworld. No matter who slept here in the past, it had now become a place for someone else. However, shouldn't this kind of place be full of traps? Could it be that they have all been broken by someone? Let's go. This place is very safe. Wang Luo seemed to have seen through Li Fan's speculation and comforted him. Understood. Since it was a place for that person to stay, it should be a more comfortable place. But living in such a palace, did he really think of himself as an emperor? This way. The man continued to lead them through the long path towards a hall in the distance. In this palace, there were many guards dressed in black and red armor. They seemed to be the guards patrolling the city. Li Fan couldn't help but sigh. This man seems to be living like an emperor. I wonder if there are 3,000 beauties in his harem? If there are 3,000, this kind of life is worth looking forward to. Esteemed guests, we are just in front. The man leading the way extended his hand, and in front of them was the majestic hall. In ancient times, this place should belong to the Hall of Proclamation, a place for officials to attend court. Li Fan and Wang Luo walked in. The moment they entered, there was a long path in front of them. Every piece of the ground was paved with jade. It was luxurious. In front of them was a flight of steps that the 9 dragons climbed up. At the top was a golden dragon throne. A man with disheveled hair and a skinny body sat on the dragon throne. His skeleton-like hands rested on the dragon head armrest. This person's hair was white, and he seemed to be no different from Wang Luo. He was also a person with half a foot in the ground. After the man led them in, he knelt down in front of the old man on the dragon throne. "Your Majesty, they are here." The man snorted. This person who was addressed as Your Majesty should be Liao Wushuang's father. How old was he when he gave birth to Liao Wushuang? Why is he so old when Liao Wushuang is only 20 years old? This is somewhat incomprehensible. "You may leave." The other party didn't even raise his head as he spoke. "Yes, Your Majesty." The man retreated, leaving behind Li Fan and Wang Luo. "Old friend, it has been over 50 years since we last met. Why do you look so old?" Wang Luo greeted him. "How much better are you?" Lord Liao sneered. "Furthermore, we are not friends." "I don't need friends." "Io, don't be so heartless." Wang Luo slowly pulled out his sword. "At least before you die, there will be a friend to mourn you." "Who did you bring over?" Because under Wang Luo's request, Li Fan had used alien bone swap to change his figure and appearance, Lord Liao did not recognize him. "Is it your successor? The next generation's sword?" The other party did not seem to take Wang Luo's threat to heart. "That's right. Before I leave, I have to do something good for China." Wang Luo said, "Getting rid of you should be considered a great merit." "I will not die." The other party said slowly. His voice was filled with power. "As long as I obtain Li Fan, I will become the strongest person." Li Fan did not say anything by the side. When he heard this, his attention was aroused. "Obtain me? What does this mean? Was this old man also a psychopath? Does he want something to happen between us?" Li Fan subconsciously raised his true qi and stared at the old man on the dragon throne with vigilance. "Friend, you are dreaming. It is a pity that I can't let you have your wish." Wang Luo held his sword. "If I let you out, I'm afraid the entire China will never have a day of peace. Today I will kill you here. 50 years ago, you lost to me. 50 years later, you are still not my opponent." Emperor Liao sneered. "Since you are rushing to die, for the sake of our past relationship, I will personally send you to die." "Why are you in such a hurry?" Wang Luo sat down on the jade floor. "Since I am going to die anyway, why don't we talk about your story?" "You want to hear my story?" Emperor Liao laughed. "That's fine. Anyway, you can't escape from my palm." Chapter 1056. You want to hear my story? The Liao Emperor looks at Wang Luo, who is sitting in front of him, and his masked disciple who is standing beside him. He does not seem to place the two of them in his eyes. Never mind, although this underground palace is big, there are very few people that I can chat with. Since you guys are going to die soon, I will be magnanimous and let you guys be ghosts that understand everything before you go on your way. Thank you very much. Seems like this is Wang Luo's goal as he asks, "How about we start with your name?" There is no harm in telling you guys. My surname is Liao and my name is Zhu. I am the descendant of the Liao Emperor. This world originally belongs to me. The reason why I practice martial arts is to first unify the pugilistic world. then China and revive the imperial power of my great Liao. What should we do now? It is already a modern society where we talk about race and human rights. We do not care about the emperor at all. What modern society? What human rights? Liao Ju sneers. It is simply a group of ignorant people messing around. Although I do not go to the surface, I know what kind of world it is now. Chaos, darkness, about to usher in a terrifying destruction. Could it be that unifying China and becoming the emperor can save all of this? Of course. Liao Ju confirms this without hesitation. I am the strongest emperor. In order to become even more powerful, I even abandoned my own family. Supreme forgetfulness. This is the highest realm of martial arts. An emperor that does not recognize even his own family. To be honest, if such a person were to rule me, I would definitely not be able to take it. Wang Luo curls his lips. That is why I said you guys are just ignorant people. Liao Ju sneers. You people will never understand the power of a king. Speaking of which, a few days ago I met a person who thought that he was a god. He was the same as you, extremely arrogant, but I killed him with my own hands. You are talking about the demon from Demon Island? Liao Ju's words shocked Li Fan. How did this guy know about this from staying in the underground palace? Looks like his source of information is also very powerful. Li Fan cannot help but look at this emperor who is sitting on the dragon throne with his head lowered. What ability does he have? No matter how ambitious you are, I'm afraid you won't be able to live for long with such a body, right? Wang Luo continued to ask, could it be for the sake of your daughter's empire? I don't have a daughter like that. She doesn't look like a princess of the great Liao kingdom. Liao Ju sneered. There was no affection in his voice at all. She doesn't deserve to inherit my family business. My empire must be guarded by myself. Then your body, this is why I need Li Fan. He has the aberration bone transformation technique, and he also has a portion of great Liao's bloodline. Li Fan was stunned. Did he have some Liao blood in him? How were they supposed to study this thing? This country had long been destroyed, so where would they go to study bloodlines? You're really good at finding. Could it be that you've already researched soul transfer? The soul is just a form of mental energy. As a martial arts master, Liao Ju had some understanding of mind power. Not long ago, I caught a mutant and discovered the concept of spiritual power from him. Really did it? Wang Luo couldn't help but ask. Of course. I buried myself in a grave for 3 days and 3 nights. Finally, I broke through the realm of mental energy. Liao Ju said proudly, although my body is no longer good, as long as I find a suitable body and use some methods, I can transfer my mental energy to it. In our words, it's called possession. As long as I continue to transfer my mental energy, I will be immortal. Even Imperial concubine Zhou couldn't do this. Looking at Liao Ju's crazy smile, Li Fan finally understood why Wang Luo risked his life to bring him here. The reason why he brought him here was to understand the truth of the matter together. If he were to ask himself, he probably wouldn't be able to tell Li Fan the truth of the matter and the most terrifying enemy. Alright, that's enough. You guys should be on your way. Liao Ju said arrogantly, it's your honor that I will personally send you guys on your way. That's enough. Wang Luo nodded his head and slowly stood up. If that's the case, it's my honor to be able to fight with the martial arts emperor in my last moments. Oh? You want to fight with me with such a crippled body? Liao Ju laughed. Even in this state, I can still easily destroy you. With that, Liao Ju raised his hand and slapped across the air. Rumble. The wind from the palm brushed past Wang Luo's body and blew onto the wall outside, causing the 9-dragon wall to collapse. Wang Luo stood slightly to the right as he held the Shangfang sword in his hand with a smile on his face. Liao Ju, you are indeed powerful. Your power has even surpassed that of a grandmaster, hasn't it? I have the power of 100 dragons. I am a legendary sage expert. Liao Ju's words made Li Fan feel despair. It wasn't easy for him to step into the realm of a grandmaster, but above his head, there was actually a legendary martial saint. That's right, that's right. A sage is so scary. Wang Luo nodded his head. But with this body, you can only use 80% of your strength, right? Maybe even lower. How about 50%? Heh, it's 60%. Liao Ju told them straightforwardly, even 60% is enough to kill you all easily. Some things, if you don't try, how will you know? Wang Luo seemed to have suddenly regained his strength. He threw away his walking stick and slowly walked towards Liao Ju with his Shangfang sword. With every step he took, he seemed to be a year younger. When he walked in front of Liao Ju, Wang Luo had already stood up straight. His hair had also returned to black, as if he had turned back into a 20-year-old youth. Come, Emperor of Wulin, fight with my Shangfang sword. Wang Luo's voice was bright and he didn't look old at all. Li Fan was a little surprised. Is Wang Luo all right? Was he pretending to be old all along? That's not right. Li Fan could feel that Wang Luo was really weak just a while ago. He was probably having a terminal lucidity and had completely overdrawn his last bit of life force to use at this moment. Young man, watch carefully how I fight with Liao Ju. As Wang Luo spoke, he leaped towards Liao Ju. Courting death. When Liao Ju saw that Wang Luo still dared to provoke him, he raised his palm and slapped towards Wang Luo. Wang Luo raised his Shangfang sword and placed it in front of him. He also used his mental power to protect his body, but his body was still sent flying more than 10 meters away. Both of his feet kept sliding on the ground. Finally, he hit a pillar and stabilized his body. Chapter 1057. Wang Luo's physical body was so strong that even Li Fan could not hurt him. But after taking Liao Ju's palm, he vomited blood. As expected of the martial arts emperor. The power of that palm is indeed strong. Wang Luo wiped the corner of his mouth, but I have the life of a cockroach. I will not die so easily. With that, Wang Luo carried the Shangfang sword and descended from the pillar. With a flick of his feet, he suddenly disappeared and quickly approached Liao Ju. The sword in his hand kept stabbing towards Liao Ju. But Liao Ju just sat there. With just a finger, he kept blocking Wang Luo's sword attacks. In front of Liao Ju, it was as if an expert like Wang Luo was just a child who was being played around by Liao Ju. No matter how hard Wang Luo tried, he was unable to break through Liao Ju's defense. No, you are too weak. Liao Ju sneered, your strength seems to have not improved compared to 50 years ago. That might not be the case. Wang Luo suddenly took a few steps back and then raised his Shangfang sword. This Shangfang sword was forged by 49 necromancers back then. I have heard of some rumors about this Shangfang sword. Liao Ju sneered, but what can an ancient sword do? With just a bit of mental power, you can connect with this sword. Wang Luo said, the sword has the mark of the inheritors. Do you want to see it? I don't like people who talk big. Liao Ju stretched out a finger and pointed at Wang Luo, you can die now. A stream of vital energy exploded from his finger, and in an instant, a bloody hole the width of a finger appeared on Wang Luo's chest, who was more than 10 meters away. Wang Luo vomited another mouthful of blood. He stabilized his legs and stood there. In my name, I will guard China. Kill the gods above, kill the ghosts below. Wang Luo stabbed the Shangfang sword into his abdomen. Return sword. Without waiting for Li Fan to be shocked, a golden light enveloped Wang Luo's body. It was as if a small sun had appeared in the underground palace. In an instant, Li Fan and Liao Ju's eyes went black. When the golden light dissipated, Wang Luo was standing there with a head of golden hair. He wore a black and gold coat and held the Shangfang sword in his hand. The appearance of the Shangfang sword had also changed. It was originally 3 feet long, but now it was close to 2 meters. Wang Luo dragged it on the ground. After so many years, this is the first time I've used the returning sword state. Wang Luo said proudly, this is probably the last time I make a grand entrance. Liao Ju, let's have the second round. With that, Wang Luo instantly appeared in front of Liao Ju and slashed down with the golden longsword in her hand. Liao Ju immediately tried to block it, but Wang Luo's sword was even faster. It pierced Liao Ju's glabella. Liao Ju immediately stretched out his other hand and grabbed the sword with his palm. "Your Majesty, you can't either." After using sword return, Wang Luo's strength seemed to have increased tremendously. His battle with Liao Ju had also become much easier. There were several times when he managed to break through Liao Ju's defense and slashed his body with his long sword. Although Liao Ju's body had aged, his true qi was still covering his body like a coat, protecting his body. Wang Luo slashed a few times but only managed to injure Liao Ju's flesh. The two of them were currently at an abnormal level. Even a grandmaster like Li Fan wouldn't dare to rashly intervene. Otherwise, he would be the one who would be in a miserable state. He understood the reason why Wang Luo called him over. It was to let him watch all of this, to see Liao Ju's moves, to familiarize himself with his battle techniques and then understand his terrifying strength. In case he suddenly met Liao Ju in the future and died without knowing why. After Li Fan thought it through, he continued to watch the two of them fight seriously. After fighting for a while, the difference in strength between the two of them started to appear. Wang Luo's returning sword still had a time limit. In addition, his body's condition was getting worse and worse. He was slowly falling into a disadvantageous position. Monarch Fist. Liao Ju seemed to have grasped the opportunity. He sat there and punched Wang Luo. The terrifying fist aura seemed to have compressed the entire space. The entire underground palace started to tremble. With a rumble, the palace at the back was flattened by the terrifying fist aura. Wang Luo fell onto the ground in a sorry state. His body was full of injuries and his black and gold coat was torn. "Kid, the rest is up to you." Liao Ju's fist aura could destroy the world. This was his ultimate technique. "Let's leave this place." Wang Luo threw the sword to Li Fan. "As long as this sword is still here, the Shangfang sword will still protect China." Wang Luo's voice moved Li Fan a bit. However, Liao Ju sneered. "Do you really think that you can run away? I know that you can't leave this seat now." Wang Luo kept looking at the few tubes that were inserted behind Liao Ju. The tubes were supplying him with nutrients to maintain his body. "As long as I stop you, he will be able to survive. With the current you, can you do it?" Liao Ju laughed. "My fist aura has a range of 1,000 meters. As long as I attack, he will have nowhere to hide. Don't look down on me." Wang Luo stood there. "Liao Ju, I can still fight with you for another 300 rounds. You don't even have a sword. How are you going to fight with me?" Liao Ju activated his true qi and cracks started to appear on the floor, spreading out like a spider web. Li Fan held the Shangfang sword as he stood at the entrance of the palace hesitating. "Stop hesitating. Hurry up and leave." Wang Luo shouted at Li Fan, "Don't let my blood flow for nothing." With that, he pushed his hand at Li Fan. A huge mental power charged at Li Fan and pushed him out. "Where are you going?" Liao Ju charged at Li Fan and threw out a monarch fist. Even if it was Li Fan, he would not be able to escape 1,000 meters in a split second. But Wang Luo roared as he stretched out both of his hands. The surrounding jade stones kept on exploding as more and more jade stones flew over and gathered in front of Wang Luo. Very quickly, they formed a gigantic jade sword that was 100 meters long. Wang Luo controlled it to hang above Liao Ju's head and slash down. Such a gigantic sword seemed to be able to split the heaven and earth. But Liao Ju just sat there as he changed the direction of his fist and punched above his head. Boom! The gigantic jade sword was smashed into pieces by Liao Ju's monarch fist and scattered around. Wang Luo half knelt in front of Liao Ju as he continuously coughed out blood. He started to age quickly and his life force was quickly flowing away. "Success, Liao Ju." Wang Luo blinked his eyes at Liao Ju. "Li Fan, he has already left." "Is Li Fan?" Liao Ju immediately stood up from his throne and looked at Wang Luo angrily. "Damn that Shangfang sword, I will kill you." He is the Shangfang sword. Under Liao Ju's fist, Wang Luo closed his eyes in relief. Chapter 1058. Li Fan held onto the Shangfang sword and quickly escaped from the underground palace. Liao Ju was too powerful now and he couldn't win with his own strength. There was no need for him to die for nothing. The Shang Fang sword in his hand slowly returned to its original state. Li Fan used his qinggong to the extreme. He hoped that Wang Luo could survive. At this moment, a loud roar came from the Hall of Proclamation behind him. The entire underground palace shook again. Li Fan knew that something must have happened to Wang Luo. He could vaguely hear a roar in his ear. It seemed like Wang Luo was talking to him. Live well and become the Shang Fang sword, Li Fan. You can't escape. A loud roar echoed in the underground palace. It was Liao Ju's angry roar. Everyone, kill the intruder. This angry roar caused the guards around the underground palace to move. These guards held onto their spears and started attacking Li Fan. Li Fan held onto the Shang Fang sword and quickly counterattacked. Although these guards were powerful and had almost reached the peak of strength, they were clearly not Li Fan's match. In order to not waste time, Li Fan summoned the Flying Lion Goddess fusion. He wore the Flying Lion armor and waved the Shang Fang sword in an attempt to kill a guard that jumped over. The guard's spear was like a rock spreading its wings. It slashed down towards Li Fan's head. Li Fan wanted to stab the guard's throat. But for some reason, the Shang Fang sword was extremely heavy. When Li Fan lifted it, the sword sank and he stabbed the guard's chest instead. The guard was wearing red armor and seemed to have high defense. The sword that could cut through metal like mud in Wang Luo's hands could only create a spark on the guard's chest in Li Fan's hands. Damn it! Li Fan could feel that the Shang Fang sword was still resisting him. He carried the Shang Fang sword on his back, and at the same time, he struck the unprotected throat of the guard with the head of the white crane. The guard clutched his throat and took 2 steps back. Li Fan caught up and threw out a dragon-spitting pearl, slapping the guard's abdomen. The rotating energy bead directly tore apart the guard's armor, then pierced through the guard's abdomen, and exploded out from his back. Pooh! The guard spat out a mouthful of blood as his body spun and flew out, crashing into the distance. Even more guards were running towards Li Fan. He immediately summoned the Great War God. The Great War God spread out its arms and condensed a powerful true qi in its hands. 7 Brilliance, Absolute Kill, 10 Direction Wisdom King. The Great War God waved his arms and a huge wave of true qi rushed out, shattering the space in front of him. The guards were shaken so badly that they fell to the ground, unconscious. Li Fan took the opportunity to quickly escape. His figure left a series of afterimages in the air as he ran towards the entrance of the underground palace. At this time, 2 guards were closing the entrance of the underground palace. This heavy stone door was 30 meters tall and 1 meter thick. It would be very difficult to break it with ordinary attacks. If the door was closed, Li Fan might be trapped in the underground palace. Fortunately, the entrance of the underground palace was heavy. Even with the help of the mechanism, the 2 guards had to close the door bit by bit. I can only go up. Li Fan jumped and quickly approached the door. But at this time, Li Fan suddenly had a bad feeling. He almost subconsciously stepped on the ground to stabilize his body. Shwa! A black crescent wave swept down and slashed the ground in front of Li Fan, leaving a deep ravine. A woman wearing a black Imperial Secret Service coat stood there, holding a black long blade in her hand. Seeing her, Li Fan was stunned. Yushi? Why is it you? Li Fan, you shouldn't have come here. Yushi looked a little sad as she looked at Li Fan. A gloomy wind blew in the underground palace, lifting Yushi's coat. Yushi, are you also Liao Ju's man? Li Fan seemed to understand something. Sorry, you are his vessel, so you must live. Yushi revealed her real purpose. And now you must stay. If I want to leave, no one can stop me. Li Fan was a little hurt, but he quickly calmed down. He did have feelings for Yushi, but this was not the first time he was betrayed by a woman. Liao Wushuang had a precedent, and this time, Li Fan adapted much faster. It seems that I have been childish. Yushi, thank you for teaching me a lesson. As Li Fan spoke, he gathered his true qi, and the golden armor on his body began to shine. No matter what, I must keep you here. This is all for His Majesty. Liao Ju had just ascended to the throne in the underground palace a few days ago. He is the hope of all of us. She swung her black saber. You are no match for me. Li Fan looked at the slowly closing door. He had no time to hesitate. See you next time. With a flash, Li Fan flew toward the door. You can't escape. She suddenly took off her blindfold. Her eyes that should have been blind now shone with a red light. The black radiance covered Yushi's body, as if she was wearing a black coat. Ghost God slash. Without any hesitation, Yushi unleashed a black energy saber. This astral saber was no longer in the shape of a crescent. Instead, it took the shape of an evil spirit and pounced at Li Fan. True Qi mimicry was slightly weaker than materialization, but it was still not to be underestimated. Sensing danger behind him, Li Fan quickly turned around and saw the huge black evil spirit. Dragon Spitting Pearl. Li Fan turned around and threw out a ball of Qi beads towards the evil spirit. The Qi ball tore a huge hole in the evil spirit's abdomen. However, the evil spirit was not affected at all. It continued to pounce on Li Fan and pounced on him. Li Fan felt as if thousands of swords had pierced through his body. If not for the protection of the flying lion armor, he would have been torn into pieces. Golden red sparks kept appearing on the flying lion armor, and Li Fan was also blown away. He flipped in the air and landed on the ground. He spat out a mouthful of blood and steadied himself. She stood there with a black evil spirit behind her, glaring at him. This move was very similar to his great god of war. Materialization of true Qi, huh? Li Fan frowned. He could not help but feel shocked when he saw Yushi's red eye. I've known you for so long, but I didn't expect you to be hiding such power. This is the power that His Majesty sealed. Because using this power will shorten my lifespan. His Majesty said that if I use it for a long time, I probably won't live past 40. Yushi's words made Li Fan's heart jump. Won't live past 40? There's actually such a terrifying technique? Chapter 1059. Li Fan has been training for a long time, but this is the first time he has heard of this kind of inner force. Then it's better if you don't use it. Li Fan advised. I've already used it once. Yushi smiled calmly. When you don't know. After saying that, Yushi held the black saber and swung it at Li Fan again. The evil spirit behind her also held a huge black saber and slashed towards Li Fan. This black saber was at least 10 meters long. Li Fan hurriedly used an iron bridge and lay back, dodging the saber. Swish! The two dragon pillars behind were directly cut into two pieces and fell to the ground, raising a cloud of dust. The true Qi manifestation technique is actually a martial art passed down from ancient times. Yushi held the black saber and walked towards Li Fan step by step. This is called the martial god true body, which is actually more advanced than the Dragon Hall's Qi condensation. Back then, the genius Lu Jinchan wholeheartedly wanted to restore the ancient martial god true body, but unfortunately he failed and only managed to study the superficial Qi condensation. As for you, Li Fan, I didn't expect you to accidentally study the martial god true body. Li Fan thought of his great war god and thought to himself, this is the martial god true body? Unfortunately, it's not mature enough. I'll let you see the real martial god true body. As she spoke, the huge evil spirit behind her slowly became clear and transformed into a ghost warrior condensed from black true Qi. The ghost warrior held the black saber and directly used the saber drawing technique to swing it horizontally at Li Fan. Humph! The great war god behind Li Fan popped out again. He was no longer as indistinct as before, but now looked like Li Fan. This great war god was wearing the flying lion armor, holding the holy sword in his left hand and the lion face shield in his right. Facing Yushi's move, the great war god raised the lion face shield and blocked in front of Li Fan. Clang! The lion face shield exploded into a shockwave, and Li Fan was even forced to take a step back from the impact. She's really powerful. Li Fan couldn't help but be surprised by Yushi's strength. Practicing martial arts is like rowing a boat against the current. You should take it step by step. However, Li Fan still couldn't help but remind her, It's not worth it for you to use the power you shouldn't have and shorten your lifespan. That's none of your business. As Yushi spoke, she controlled the ghost warrior to grab the huge black blade with both hands and slash it down towards Li Fan. The black blade descended from the sky, and the great god of war raised his lion face shield to block the attack. Clang! The black saber landed heavily on the lion face shield. The lion face shield was pressed down on the great god of war's head. After Yushi activated the martial god mode, her strength increased tremendously. She had the strength of at least 15 dragons, which was not inferior to Li Fan's strength. Unless Li Fan used his unparalleled posture and let his true energy explode in his body. Li Fan glanced at the door that was about to close. He no longer had time to hesitate. Yushi, I'm sorry. I can't stay here. As Li Fan spoke, a strong force suddenly erupted from his body. But in that short moment, all of the true energy on Li Fan's body was absorbed into his body. All the pores on his body closed, and in that instant, the great god of war disappeared as well. After all, the great god of war was formed from true energy. Once the pores were closed and the true energy was not allowed to flow out, the great god of war would naturally not be able to condense. If you don't use the martial god, how are you going to fight against me? Yushi controlled the ghost warrior to swing her long blade horizontally towards Li Fan. The black blade had already arrived in front of Li Fan. As for Li Fan, his skin was scarlet red, and a circle of true energy condensed into a light wheel appeared behind him. He stretched out a hand and pinched the black saber. Clang! With a crisp sound, the black blade was blocked and stopped there, unable to hurt Li Fan. Goodbye, Yushi. Li Fan waved his hand and cut off his sleeve. From today onwards, you and I are no longer friends. Yushi saw the look in Li Fan's eyes. It was a kind of cold look. For some reason, Yushi's heart fiercely jumped. Goodbye. Li Fan took a step back, leaving an afterimage behind. He instantly left the underground palace and escaped through the small gap left by the door. Where's Li Fan? Liao Ju's voice transmission sounded in Yushi's ears. She sighed, retracted her martial god true body, put on a blindfold, and used her qinggong to return to the announcement hall and knelt in front of Liao Ju. Your Majesty, please forgive me. Forget it? Liao Ju forgave Yushi. Anyway, it's not time yet. There's no harm in training him a little more. But Your Majesty, he already knows about us. Will it be detrimental to the plan? My plan is foolproof. Liao Ju was full of confidence. Are you doubting my judgment, Yushi? I don't dare. Yushi hurriedly lowered her head and apologized. Just continue with what you're doing. Liao Ju ordered. As for Li Fan, you don't have to worry about him. Yes, Your Majesty. Yushi stood up and left, while Liao Ju sat on the dragon throne, stepping on ahead. Wang Luo, is this the path you chose? He let out a cold laugh. Unfortunately, no matter what method you use, you won't be able to stop my resurrection. Really, Liao Ju? At this moment, Wang Luo's head suddenly opened its eyes and spoke. Mental energy? Liao Ju was not surprised and immediately understood. Interesting, you really like to surprise me. However, this little bit of mental energy will dissipate soon. Before I die, I still have some use for it. Wang Luo was only left with a head, but he was still laughing. As long as that brat Li Fan continues to grow, he will defeat you sooner or later. Stupid. You are too arrogant. Endless nightmare. Wang Luo's head suddenly jumped up and his eyes met Liao Ju's gaze. He used the last bit of his life force to hypnotize Liao Ju. Liao Ju saw that the surrounding was filled with evil spirits walking towards him and pulling his body with all their might, as if they wanted to drag him into hell. It's just a little bit of mental energy, yet you still want to cause trouble. Liao Ju sneered. Since that's the case, I shall play with you. He closed his eyes and endured the nightmare that Wang Luo brought him. At this moment, Li Fan had already escaped outside. He used his qinggong all the way back to Ji University without stopping to rest. By the time he returned, the sky was already dark and the dormitory doors were all closed. Li Fan couldn't jump back through the window, so he could only wander around the field of Ji University. Liao Ju, this brat's strength is too terrifying. How am I going to deal with a martial sage expert? He looked at the Shangfang sword in his hand and felt that he should make use of this sword. Wang Luo's returned sword had stunned Li Fan. A person who only had mental energy and only a sword was able to contend against Liao Ju. This was truly amazing. However, what he should be thinking about now should be where he should go to sleep. Li Fan didn't bring a single cent with him, so he couldn't go to a hotel to sleep. Just as he was worrying, a familiar girl's voice came from behind him. Ed Jr., why are you here? Chapter 1060. Senior sister? Li Fan turned around and saw Lu Wan-er with her hair in a bun, dressed in sportswear, standing on the playground, looking at him. Why are you here? Lu-er let her hair down and looked at Li Fan tenderly. I heard that you took a long leave from school and went abroad with Shen. Is Shen back? Li Fan asked quickly. She's back. Lu Wan-er looked at Li Fan strangely. You didn't know? Well, I separated from her when I was abroad. Quarreled again? That's not it. Where is she now? She's busy looking for a new agency. Lu Wan-er smiled. She was terminated by her previous agency. The media reported that she didn't go to school and had a boyfriend. At present, her popularity is a bit low and it's not easy for her to survive. So, Li Fan roughly understood what was going on. It must be about her family. This time in Europe, Shen's last value was squeezed out and then kicked away by the company. Not only that, in order to not leave a way out for Shen, they deliberately created all kinds of negative public opinion in an attempt to suppress Shen. The Shen family was really too much. They did not even leave a way out for their adopted daughter. Why did you come back so late? Lu Wan-er stretched out her hand and gently brushed the dust off Li Fan's shoulder. Look at you, how did you end up in such a mess? I came back as a refugee. You're talking nonsense again. These days when you were away, the club has been maintained well. Lu Wan-er reported to Li Fan. I have to say that your Lin Yuhsin is indeed a talent in management. Usually, when practicing martial arts, everyone has made some progress with the Jiang sisters' guidance. That's good. Li Fan was now a little unable to care about the club's affairs. At present, he was under a lot of pressure. I've decided to let the sisters take care of the club's affairs. Li Fan thought for a moment. I have a martial arts hall to run, and I have to continue to train my strength. After going to university, I don't seem to have time to go into seclusion anymore. Li Fan felt that his university life was a bit miserable. It seemed that it had to end before it even started. Just go to class as usual. Lu Wan-er looked at Li Fan. Do you feel that there isn't enough time? You can apply for a day student. What does that mean? Li Fan felt that the gentle senior seemed to have a way. Well, I can still finish my homework if I'm a day student. Lu Wan-er explained, as long as you have enough credits every semester, it will be fine. Generally speaking, schools do not allow students to be day students. However, I can help you apply for it. It should be settled. Senior sister is so powerful. Li Fan was a little surprised. Lu Wan-er actually had so much power in school? It's all right. I can still help you with this. Lu Wan-er laughed. So when you need me, you can rely on me. I will try my best. Well, but how can you go back to the dormitory if you come back so late? Lu Wan-er looked at Li Fan. If I hadn't happened to run at night and bumped into you, I'm afraid you could only sleep on the playground. Ahem, I can also go out and live in a hotel. Your sportswear doesn't even have pockets. How can you live in a hotel? Lu Wan-er looked at the extraordinary sword hanging on Li Fan's waist and the Shangfang sword on his back. Are you going to rob a bank with these two guys? Li Fan was indeed short of money now. He felt that he shouldn't go back to City G. He should directly go back to City A with Qinggong. However, City G was a little closer. If he went back to City A with Qinggong, he was afraid that he would be exhausted. You seem to be quite tired. How about this, you stay at my place tonight. Lu Wan-er provided a place for Li Fan to stay. As the saying goes, one night and one meal. Lu Wanner had already stayed for 2 nights. Ah, it's not good to sleep with senior sister twice. What do you mean by sleeping with me twice? Lu Wanner, with her self-restraint, couldn't help punching Li Fan lightly. Don't talk nonsense. Ah, I made a mistake casually. Li Fan was very embarrassed. How could he accidentally say what was on his mind? Humph, don't do it again. Let's go. Lu Wanner wiped the sweat on her forehead. I'm also sweaty after running. Stinks. I need to go back and take a bath. I want to take a bath too. Li Fan hadn't rested for a day and a night. He was busy rushing on the road, so he was extremely dirty. Not together. Lu Wanner immediately emphasized. Senior sister, when did I say together? You said it this time. Li Fan couldn't help laughing. Lu Wanner blushed. She couldn't help reaching out and secretly pinching Li Fan's thigh. Li Fan felt very wronged. He obviously didn't have that intention this time. Lu Wanner no longer talked to Li Fan. She seemed to be a little angry as she walked along the path of the school toward the apartment building. Alright. Lu Wanner, who was walking in front, suddenly stopped. Li Fan almost bumped into her back. What's wrong? Li Fan was taken aback. At the same time, he felt a little regretful. I suddenly remembered that there's a sex maniac roaming around the school recently. Lu Wanner reminded Li Fan. I heard he's running around the school. When he sees a female student, he takes off his pants? It's very disgusting. You have to be careful, junior brother. I'm a guy. Why should I be afraid of him? Li Fan couldn't help but roll his eyes. Do you think he can have sex with me? I can't rule out that possibility. Lu Wanner nodded very seriously. Li Fan broke out in a cold sweat. Let me tell you. I know a brother named Huang Lei. He's not here. If he's here, he can cut off that guy's dick. Li Fan couldn't help but think of Lei. This kind of person should be dealt with by Lei. You're so dirty. You're dirtier. It doesn't matter. I'm older than you. I can talk about some adult things. Lu Wanner winked at Li Fan. How can you be like this? Li Fan was speechless. At this time, a rustling sound came from the nearby bushes. Then, a figure appeared from behind the tree. He directly rushed toward Lu Wanner and pulled down his pants, revealing his crotch. Lu Wanner screamed and immediately hid behind Li Fan. Fuck, you can't talk about people in the day, but you can't talk about ghosts at night. Li Fan laughed angrily. You came just in time. I'll cut off your dick. Boy, your luck with women is not shallow. The perverted man pulled up his pants and pulled out a butterfly knife. He waved it in his hand. If you don't want to die, get out of my way. Let me have some fun with that girl. Senior sister, you see, your beauty has made him commit crimes. Li Fan turned his head and winked at Lu Wanner. Chapter 1061. If that's the case, then get out of my way. Seeing him put on his pants, Lu Wanner immediately felt relieved and said, Let me do it. You see how smart and proactive this girl is. You should learn from her. The perverted man immediately smiled, very satisfied with Lu Wanner's attitude. Come, this grandpa will love you tenderly. Seeing Lu Wanner walking toward him, the perverted man happily smiled. Lu Wanner also gave him a smile, then stretched out her hand and gently placed it on the perverted man's shoulder. Just as the perverted man licked his lips, Lu Wanner suddenly tightened her fingers. Ouch! The perverted man screamed as a sharp pain came from his shoulder. Lu Wanner pinched his acupuncture point and at the same time, kicked his crotch with her leg. The perverted man screamed again and again while Lu Wanner clapped her hands. Okay, clean up. Should we call the police? Too troublesome. Lu Wanner shook her head. Moreover, calling the police is too easy on him. He should receive a more severe punishment. Senior sister, what do you want to do? How about this? 10 minutes later, a man wearing only underwear was hung on the school building. On his body were several big words, perverted exhibitionist. This will do. Lu Wanner looked at her work with satisfaction. Li Fan stood at the side with cold sweat on his forehead. This usually gentle senior sister is too scary at this moment. If I want to punish someone in the future, I can ask senior sister to help me think of a way. Let's go back. Lu Wan-er then left with Li Fan. The two of them returned to the student dormitory. I feel much better after taking a bath. Lu Wan-er walked out of the bathroom with a bath towel wrapped around her hair, wearing loose home clothes and a body full of fragrance. She stood in front of Li Fan and stretched her waist. So comfortable. Looking at Lu Wan-er's beautiful figure, Li Fan couldn't control his desire. At this time, a man's sexual desire is the easiest to overcome his reason. In Li Fan's mind, there is only one thought: push her down. Damn it, Li Fan. Li Fan, what are you thinking? Li Fan hurriedly and secretly pinched his thigh to sober up a little. I still have to thank you, junior brother. Lu Wan-er took a bottle of my dong and walked over. She sat beside Li Fan and handed the bottle to him. If it weren't for you, I would have definitely been taken advantage of if I had encountered such a pervert. Girls should learn some self-defense skills. Li Fan turned on the pulse. Especially ancient martial arts. It's not like they'll let girls train until they're all muscles. Thinking of Murong Ying's beautiful figure, Li Fan couldn't help but feel nostalgic. Sometimes, he really wanted to see Murong Ying in a cheongsam standing in front of him again. Tai Zhu was busy cooking for them in the kitchen. And Murong was sitting on the sofa next to him, watching a Korean TV series episode by episode. Unfortunately, the two of them had an ill-fated relationship. Perhaps they would never return to that time. People must look forward. Li Fan took out the Shangfang sword and the extraordinary sword and placed them on the table next to him. Are these your weapons? Lu Wan-er walked past Li Fan's body. She was practically lying on Li Fan's body, observing the two different weapons. This one seems to be an antique. It's a bit old. Lu Wan-er was very interested in antiques. She was lying there with her buttocks raised. Because she had just taken a shower, Lu Wan-er was wearing a comfortable shirt on her upper body and a short skirt on her lower body. Her hair also had the delicate fragrance of shampoo. It mischievously entered Li Fan's nose, evoking his feelings. This sword is at least from before the Ming dynasty. Lu Wan-er carefully examined the sword. She was too confident in Li Fan that she had forgotten that this kind of ambiguous posture was a challenge to a man's bottom line. Why do you have such an antique? You seem to have taken good care of it. Lu Wan-er seemed to want to pick it up to take a look, but this Shangfang sword was incomparably heavy. Lu Wan-er was not paying attention and directly laid on top of Li Fan's body. That soft chest was pressing on Li Fan's wrist, causing his heart to beat faster. This is really a terrifying challenge. Li Fan forced himself to maintain his rationality. He did not want to lose to the terrifying desire. Two little people appeared in front of Li Fan. One had wings and the other had a tail. Push her down. The little devil urged Li Fan. In any case, there is no one else here. This is a great opportunity. Don't forget to wear a condom. The little angel reminded himself. Li Fan felt that he was already hopeless. His hand could touch the space under Lu Wan-er's skirt at any time. That place must be mysterious and soft. I'm sorry. Li Fan adjusted his state of mind and wanted to extricate himself from Lu Wan-er's body. However, Lu Wan-er directly flipped over and laid comfortably in Li Fan's embrace. I didn't expect that your embrace would be so comfortable. Lu Wan-er laid on top of Li Fan's body and looked at her junior, who was somewhat dumbfounded. But, do you really want to chase me away from this position? And no. You are nervous. Lu Wan-er looked at Li Fan and smiled warmly. It was unknown why she was smiling. You little girl, who are you calling lass? I am your senior. You brat who doesn't know manners. Lu Wan-er stretched out her hand and tried to grab Li Fan's nose. Hey, how can you pinch your nose? Don't you often pinch Jiang Yuan's nose? She is younger than me. You are also younger than me. As she spoke, Lu Wan-er continued to pinch Li Fan's nose. This little girl really doesn't want to admit defeat. Senior sister, what the hell do you want? I am just tired. I want to find someone to lean on for a while. Lu Wanner comfortably leaned on Li Fan with a somewhat satisfied expression. Li Fan felt that she was especially like a contented kitten. Well, your embrace is indeed very comfortable. Although I can't lean on it often, I can use it temporarily. I am not a sofa, what do you mean by use? It is originally just for use. Lu Wanner emphasized, boys are originally tools to be used. Tools? Yes, because men can't be trusted and can only be used as tools, which is much safer. Lu Wanner spoke from the bottom of her heart. Girls are better, they won't hurt you. Hey, if you think that way, it is easy to become a lesbian, right? What's wrong with being a lesbian? Isn't it still very happy? As long as you are happy, it is fine. Lu Wanner muttered, my current principle is to enjoy myself while I am happy, then you can enjoy yourself while you are with me. Li Fan had another crooked idea in his mind. Chapter 1062. At such a close distance, Lu Wanner's temperature and body fragrance were clearly transmitted to Li Fan's sensory world, stimulating his heartbeat. This Lu Wanner was simply a little devil. She was usually so gentle, but at this moment, she was so charming and attractive. Even though Li Fan had seen all kinds of big scenes, he was the kind of person who walked among flowers without being touched by a single leaf. But under this kind of pressure from Lu Wanner, he kind of wanted to give in. Lu Wanner. This woman was a bit awesome. Even Li Fan began to admire Lu Wanner, which showed how awesome she was. Especially when he heard that Lu Wanner wanted to be a lesbian, the first thought in Li Fan's mind was to let Lu Wanner know what a man's strengths and weaknesses were. To fill a woman's big hole, only a man could do it. No, it was too vulgar to call it a big hole. It should be called a gap. A man could fill a woman's gap, that was right. Li Fan was thinking whether he should fill Lu Wanner's gap or not. This seems to be a matter of merit. Forget it, I'm not a person who cultivates merit. Let's put this matter aside for now. What are you thinking about? Looking at Li Fan, Lu Wanner suddenly asked. I'll give you 10 yuan to buy your idea. Is my idea worth 10 yuan? Li Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry. It's already very affordable. This is a friendship price. Lu Wanner rolled her eyes. How much do you want? How about 5 yuan? If you give me 250 yuan, my death will be worth it. In your dreams, I won't. Lu Wanner refused Li Fan's request. Li Fan sighed. It seems that Lu Wanner is getting more and more awesome. This girl will be awesome in the future. Senior sister, you are so smart and cunning. How about helping me manage the martial arts club? Li Fan had some ideas, so he took the opportunity to ask. Li Fan. Actually, there is one thing. Lu Wanner had been hesitating about whether or not she should tell Li Fan that she was going abroad. She pondered for a long time and decided not to tell Li Fan. If I tell Li Fan, what if he starts to drift away from me? I better not tell him. For now, I'll just go with what he wants. Even Lu Wanner didn't know that Li Fan had become so important in her heart at some point in time. Anyway, I don't know what to do when I'm interning. Lu Wanner readily agreed. It's good to help you. Thank you, senior sister. Li Fan was happy. Lu Wanner was so smart, gentle, and meticulous. If she could help him, she would definitely be a great help. But, you're hugging a beautiful girl, but all you're thinking about is work? Then senior sister, what should I think about? Li Fan asked subconsciously. How would I know? Lu Wanner laughed. Why don't junior brother tell me what you should be thinking about? And then I'll say what I think. Senior sister won't be angry with me, right? Li Fan suddenly asked. How could that be? Senior sister really wants to know. Li Fan felt that he couldn't win against Lu Wanner. Thinking about it carefully, none of the girls he knew were easy to deal with. Each and every one of them had a sharp tongue, but his mouth was the stupidest. I'm going to take a bath. Li Fan felt that it was better to escape as soon as possible. If this continued, he couldn't guarantee that he wouldn't make a mistake. I'll let you go. Lu Wanner's words made Li Fan finally relieved. He knew that this woman was torturing him. Thank you, senior sister. Li Fan cupped his hands toward Lu Wanner. This student is very grateful. I'm willing to compensate with my body. Come on. Lu Wanner looked at Li Fan provocatively. What do you really want to do? Do you dare? Li Fan didn't say anything and obediently went to take a bath. After several days of tiredness and dust, Li Fan washed his body properly, washing away the fatigue on his body. Li Fan stood under the shower, enjoying the hot water. He also had time to quietly digest the recent events. Demon Island, Magic Association, Shangfang Sword, Liaoju. And the betrayal of Yu Shi. In less than a month, the changes were too great. Li Fan was a little emotional. If he had a choice, he would still want to return to the past. He would rather Yu Shi was still a blackguard of the Imperial Secret Service, silently guarding him. Yu Shi had once said that she liked him. Was that a lie as well? Li Fan couldn't help but laugh at himself. It seemed that he was always being deceived by women. It seemed that he had to be more careful when dealing with women in the future. He shook his head and dispelled some useless thoughts. Then he wiped his body clean and walked to the outer compartment. There was a clean white martial arts uniform in the basket beside him. This was the uniform that Lu Wanner had prepared for him. It was the uniform of the society. It was a white pure cotton uniform. It was loose and comfortable, with the Martial Arts Society's logo printed on it. On the back of the uniform was a picture of a tyrant subduing a tiger. This was specially added by Lu Wanner based on Li Fan's tattoo. After all, it was the iconic tattoo of the little tyrant. Li Fan put on the martial arts uniform. Lu Wanner was standing in the living room, seemingly busy with something. Senior, what are you doing? Li Fan looked at Lu Wanner's hot figure. Even the ordinary home clothes could not hide her slim and beautiful figure. Don't you have class tomorrow? Second year is much easier. Lu Wanner smiled sweetly. Besides, how could a junior who often skips class have the nerve to ask me? Li Fan wanted to cry a little. This girl was starting to mock him again. Senior, you're a senior after all. Why are you teasing me like this? How am I teasing you? Lu Wanner refused to admit it. I'm encouraging you to improve. You should be thanking me. Thank you for your encouragement. I'm so touched that my eyes are brimming with tears. Li Fan was helpless. Then I'll leave you to your work. I'm going to sleep. Needless to say, he would still have to sleep on the sofa. Are you in a hurry to sleep? Lu Wanner took out 2 cocktails that she had mixed herself. Let's have a drink and chat. Ah. Li Fan was stunned for a moment. Lu Wanner actually wanted to drink with him? Aren't you afraid of getting drunk? How could I get drunk if I get drunk? Lu Wanner corrected Li Fan. It should be said that alcohol is an aphrodisiac. Just a little bit will make you tipsy, but it will increase your courage. Then senior, are you trying to increase your courage? No, I'm trying to increase your courage. Lu Wanner winked at Li Fan, causing Li Fan to blush. Senior, if you keep testing me like this, I won't be able to bear it. Chapter 1063. What kind of test is this? Lu Wanner charmingly laughed. Later when you start working, you will find that there are more tests. She looked at Li Fan and suddenly asked, do you want to try it? Try what? Li Fan froze for a moment. Let's see if you can withstand a real test. How about it? Lu Wanner said, slightly licked her lips, and then walked toward Li Fan with a glass of wine. Senior sister. What do you want? If I am your female boss and I want to do the unspoken rules with you, what would you do? Wear a condom. Li Fan very seriously replied. Lu Wanner was so angry that she rolled her eyes. What nonsense are you talking about? I am testing you, not asking you how to cooperate with me. I am your female boss. I want to do the unspoken rules with you. With such a beautiful female boss like you wanting to do the unspoken rules with me, I am more than happy. Li Fan mischievously smiled. Remember to be gentle. Humph, I can see that you are not firm at all. Lu Wanner fiercely glared at Li Fan. You should find a woman to ruthlessly punish you. This is difficult. Li Fan spread out his hands. I don't even know if I can find a suitable woman to marry in the future. Your temper is really difficult. Lu Wan carefully looked at Li Fan. How about I teach you how to properly treat a girl? Do I still need to teach you? Li Fan was a little strange. Could it be that the way I treated girls before was wrong? Wrong, a big mistake. Lu Wan bluntly said, you are not gentle to girls at all. Hey, is that so? Li Fan was very puzzled. I have never been fierce to girls. You see, like you, Xin Chen, Jiang Yuan, I regard you as good friends. This is the most annoying part about you. Wrong, all wrong. Lu Wan emphasized, between boys and girls. There is no such thing as pure friendship. Li Fan was stunned for a moment. That makes sense? Of course. Lu Wan did not have the slightest bit of doubt towards her own point of view. Those who use the pure friendship between a man and a woman to talk about it are just deceiving themselves while stealing a bell. Li Fan felt that what Lu Wan said was quite right. The fact that you're close to these girls means one thing in itself. You like them and you want to be close to them. I don't think so. All right, let me give you an example. Lu Wan stretched out a finger. Suppose one day, Lin Yi, or I, have a new boyfriend. Every day, we accompany our boyfriends, being lovey-dovey with each other. Are you happy? Lu Wan's words stunned Li Fan for a moment. He really didn't know how to answer this question. It would be a lie to say that he didn't mind. If he said that he cared, wouldn't that be admitting that he liked those girls? After Li Fan hesitated for a moment, he suddenly felt that he was being a little petty. Wang Luo and Murong Ying both said that it was difficult for him to achieve great things with his state of mind. Li Fan felt that this was his weakness. Li Fan suddenly realized something. He immediately cut off his pretense and bluntly said, "That's right. I like these girls and I also like you, senior sister." Li Fan kept on answering. Lu Wan, who originally wanted to continue to tease him, didn't know what to say. This is my instinct as a man. I don't want to refute it. Li Fan became direct. I will probably leave China in the future and live on an island. If you can accept it, you can come live with me on the island. You're so greedy. Lu Wan couldn't help but scold Li Fan. This is not greed. This is facing my heart. Li Fan sat on the sofa. Holding a glass of wine, he smiled. At that moment, Lu Wan felt that Li Fan seemed to have changed a lot. He seemed to have matured a lot. Obviously, the things he said to a woman were so unforgivable. Lu Wan felt that she was also very cheap. Many men said sweet words to her and doted on her, but she was dismissive. And this Li Fan was bad. He didn't have her in his heart, but she wanted to be close to him. People really wanted what they didn't have. But Lu Wan didn't know how to change this. Liking someone was very hard to change. Just like her ex-boyfriend. Even if he was fickle once, Lu Wan still forgave him. Until he couldn't be saved, and even married another woman, she finally completely gave up. And Li Fan's charm was obviously stronger than him. Li Fan was able to let it go, but Lu Wan was not so easy to let it go. Lu Wan, enjoy yourself, she said to herself in her heart. Senior sister, what are you thinking about? Don't you think I'm bad? Li Fan asked with a smile. Yes, you're too bad. Lu Wan said without hesitation, I'm bad. I don't think I'm bad. Li Fan frankly said, is it wrong for me to like girls? I just like them, but I didn't do anything to them. Yes, you didn't do anything, but... Lu Wan hesitated, it's because of your inaction. That many girls were hurt. I can't not do anything. Li Fan pondered for a moment. Then, senior sister, what do you think I should do to make them happy? As the saying goes, it's better to get the pain over with. You should choose someone you like. Lu Wan immediately said, it's because you don't have a woman you like. That's why you give them unnecessary hope, making them reluctant to leave you. If this goes on, it won't be good for anyone. Let's talk about it on that day. Li Fan indifferently shrugged his shoulders. When the boat comes to the bridgehead, it'll straighten out. AI, you're like this? It's not good. Lu Wan sighed. What's the matter, senior sister? Do you want to be my girlfriend? Li Fan asked with a smile. Hey, even if you're a junior brother, it's rude of you to ask like this. Lu Wanner reminded Li Fan. Senior sister is also not doing anything. Li Fan winked at Lu Wanner, making Lu Wanner speechless. Just a moment ago, she had the upper hand, but now it was Li Fan who had the upper hand. Okay. Let's not talk anymore, go to sleep. Lu Wanner admitted defeat. Then good night, senior sister. Li Fan was about to sleep when suddenly there was a sound of a key being turned outside the door. Lu Wanner's face immediately turned pale, and she pulled Li Fan. Quick, go to my room. Chapter 1064. Li Fan also heard the movement outside. He subconsciously turned his head to look at the door. Hurry up, it's Shunshin. Shunshin is Shunshin, what are you afraid of? Before he finished speaking, he was dragged upstairs by Lu Wan. If Shunshin sees you spending the night with me, it's over. She'll definitely misunderstand. Lu Wanner was very nervous, as if the two of them were really having an affair. Hurry up. Otherwise, I'll hate you. Lu Wanner saw that Li Fan did not want to move and stomped her feet in anger. Okay, I'll go upstairs. Li Fan had no choice but to obediently go upstairs and was stuffed into his room by Lu Wanner. What, you're not asleep yet? Lu Wanner had just stuffed Li Fan into the room when Shunshin's voice came from downstairs. Shin, why are you back? Lu Wanner rushed downstairs and said, There's nothing to be busy these days. You know, I've been unemployed recently. Shunshin laughed self-deprecatingly. Those people have no taste and don't like me. I can't do anything about it. Don't be discouraged. Lu Wanner advised, This is not like you, Shunshin. And I'll look again. Shunshin nodded, but I can study at school in peace. This is also a benefit. And you must be tired. Take a shower and go to sleep. Lu Wanner was worried about Li Fan and she could not deal with Shunshin. Then I'll go take a shower. Shunshin nodded and turned to the bathroom. Lu Wanner was relieved and walked into the room. She saw Li Fan sitting on a chair, bored to death, fiddling with a picture album. Lu Wanner's face immediately turned red. It was a photo she had taken in the past. There were a lot of very revealing photos. I didn't expect you to be so wild in the past. Li Fan pointed to a photo of a sexy wild cat. Lu Wanner was wearing a catwoman's leather jacket and pants. There was even a cat tail on the pants. It was very realistic. If one didn't know better, they would really think that Lu Wanner was a cat demon. I know how you put your cat ears on, but how did you put your cat tail on? Li Fan felt a little strange. Give it to me. Lu Wanner snatched the photo album from Li Fan's hand. Who let you look at it, hateful? It's quite pretty. What's there to be shy about? Li Fan couldn't help but laugh. But you didn't seem to be very obedient before. There are a lot of photos of you wearing a motorcycle suit. Who hasn't had a few years of brain damage? Lu Wanner angrily looked at Li Fan. You're being very rude. What's wrong? Did our gentle senior sister mess around before? Lu Wanner pouted and looked at Li Fan with dissatisfaction. You like to investigate people's past so much. Do you want to become a police officer? Police work doesn't suit me. Li Fan thought of the Shangfang sword. Maybe I will try to become a profession that is more mysterious than being a police officer. Lu Wanner was obviously not happy that Li Fan saw the photos that she didn't want others to know about. She was angry with him tonight, more than all the previous times combined. Don't tell me you don't have any shameful past? I really don't. Li Fan proudly said, I have always been open and above board. There's nothing shameful about it. Really? Lu Wanner laughed. I think that Murong's relationship with you is not ordinary. When you and Murong were in love, didn't you two do anything wrong to your fiancé? Cough cough. Li Fan dryly coughed twice. He thought that this Lu Wanner should be a detective. She can even solve a case like this. She's really awesome. What's wrong? Not talking anymore? Lu Wanner raised her eyebrows and looked at Li Fan. The weather tonight is not bad. It's cloudy. What's so good about it? Lu Wanner rolled her eyes at Li Fan. Didn't you just say that you're magnanimous? I just made some mistakes that all men make. Che, you men always say that. Let's not talk about this. Why don't we sit down and look at the photos? It can improve our relationship. Go to hell. You can sleep on the floor. Lu Wanner pointed at the floor and then added, I'll help you lay a blanket. I won't let you catch a cold. Senior sister is still quite gentle. Li Fan looked at Lu Wanner, who was lying on the floor with her buttocks raised. In order to resist his desire, he changed the topic and asked, How did you learn bad things in the past? How can this be called bad things? Lu Wanner emphasized, I was just rebellious for a while. At that time when I was living in America, I met a group of bikers and hung out with them for a while. It's hard to imagine. It's really inconceivable. Li Fan was a little surprised. Senior sister could hang out with the bikers? Take a look at this. Lu Wanner took out a photo. In it, she was wearing a black Gothic motorcycle suit, riding on a handsome Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Beside her was a blonde man with a nose ring and earrings hugging her. Li Fan was speechless for a long time. What's wrong with you? Is this your boyfriend? Nonsense, this is my bestie. Lu Wanner pointed at him and said, He's gay. And I was also gay at that time. What huh? This fully proves that my choice at that time was right. Lu Wanner gently poked Li Fan's forehead with her finger. Go to sleep, dishonest man. If I'm not honest, I'll push you down. Li Fan retorted. Yes. You're good. Lu Wanner stretched out her hand and helped Li Fan to remove the hair on the corner of his mouth. This gentle action, the focused gaze, and the snow-white skin revealed by the collar, could not help but attract Li Fan. This woman, the lethality of every frown and smile, was too great. All right, how could you be so careless and touch something? Lu Wanner clapped her hands. Go to sleep. You're not allowed to attack me at night. I'll try my best. Li Fan winked at Lu Wanner. I'll beat you up. Lu Wanner waved her small fist. Just as the two of them were about to sleep, there was a sudden knock on the door. Lu Wanner was shocked, but her next action was simply beyond human. She clamped her legs and directly clamped Li Fan, who was lying on the floor, and threw him and the blanket onto her bed. Then, Lu Wanner quickly covered Li Fan with her blanket. At the same time, she sat on the bed and threw a few big dolls onto the bed. I knew you haven't slept yet. Shen Chen walked in with only a towel wrapped around her. Just in time, I wanted to have a heart-to-heart talk with you. Chapter 1065. This is not very convenient. Seeing Shen Chen walk in with a towel wrapped around her, Lu Wanner was so nervous that she quickly covered herself with the blanket. What's not convenient? Didn't you not sleep? Shen Chen spoke while wiping her hair. She still had the scent of shower gel on her body, making Lu Wanner feel very embarrassed. Hiding Li Fan under the blanket, if this matter was discovered, she would not be able to show her face in school in the future. I have a lot on my mind recently, so I came to talk to you. You won't find me annoying, right? How could I? Lu Wanner quickly shook her head. I'm just a little sleepy. Strange, I've never seen you sleep so early before. Shen Chen was a little puzzled, then asked half-jokingly, Don't tell me you're hiding a man under the blanket, let me see. What are you doing? Lu Wanner was so nervous that she stopped Shen Chen in a panic. Shen Chen was careless, and the towel on her upper body slipped down, revealing the wonderful content underneath. I see. You should pay attention. Lu Wanner quickly pulled the towel over Shen Chen. You're a girl, how can you be so careless? Don't you usually see everything? Why are you so shy today? Shen Chen could not help but laugh. Is there someone in your heart? What nonsense are you talking about? You only know how to tease me. Lu Wanner tried to suppress her panic. It's not easy to come back. Why don't you take a good rest and go back to sleep? Hey, if you chase me away like this, I should really suspect that you're hiding a man. Shen Chen pouted discontentedly. I'm not happy, so I want to talk to you. It's my fault I'm too sleepy. Lu Wanner gently patted her cheek. Okay, I'm refreshed, let's talk. Well, that's more like it. Shin Chen nodded with satisfaction, leaning on Lu Wan. I'm a little tired recently, really. Listening to Shin Chen's tired voice, Lu Wan felt a little distressed, but Li Fan, who was covered under the blanket, was a little anxious. Fuck, it's the middle of the night, what's there to talk about? It was really hot and stuffy here. Li Fan could only temporarily use the tortoise breathing technique to forcibly suppress his desire to breathe and wait for the two of them to finish talking. A girl's chat should be quick, after all, it's already so late. Li Fan felt an itch in his hand. He moved slightly and touched something soft. He couldn't help but pinch it. It felt really good. Lu Wanner, who was sitting there, suddenly exclaimed. What happened? Shen Chen was startled and hurriedly asked. No, nothing, I just remembered that I left my water heater on. When did we turn off the water heater? Shen Chen felt a little strange. Recently, we've been promoting environmental protection. Lu Wanner quickly made up an excuse. It's okay. I'm going to take a shower tomorrow morning anyway. Shin Chen held Lu Wanner's hands. Recently, I've been a little depressed. Lu Wanner endured the strange hands on her buttocks as she forced a smile. And, you can continue, Shin Chen complained to Lu Wanner about the recent matters. These few days, she had been looking for a new management company, but none of them were willing to sign her. In this case, it wouldn't take long for Shun Chen to fade out of everyone's sight. Why don't we not be a star? Lu Wanner asked. We can do some other jobs. She suggested, your image is not bad, being a flight attendant is not bad. Flight attendant? This lady disdains to serve others. Shin Chen curled her lips. No way. Otherwise, do you still want to be a princess? Lu Wanner couldn't help but mutter, look at the time, you're still not willing to give up. Of course I can't give up. Shin Chen emphasized, I can't just admit defeat like this. Without the help of my family, I can't do it myself. For the first time, Shin Chen was so determined, I want to prove that I'm not their puppet. Then, if you put it that way, I should support you. Lu Wanner thought for a moment. She had already begun to ignore Li Fan's lecherous hands. This guy. Taking advantage of the situation, I'll deal with him later. Where is his hand reaching? That's not good. Lu Wanner's face suddenly turned red. Shin Chen asked, Wanner, what's wrong? No, nothing. It's a little hot. Lu Wanner gently clamped her legs. Maybe? Maybe the room is a little hot. Really, such a hot day. Turn on the air conditioner. Shin Chen picked up the remote control and turned on the air conditioner. But Lu Wanner's body became even hotter. Her face was faintly emitting heat. Are you sick? Shin Chen asked. No. Lu Wanner shook her head and then sat down hard, pressing down Li Fan's disturbing hands. Let's continue talking about your matters. I'm preparing. I'm going to help you open a management company. Huh. Shin Chen was a little surprised. You actually want to open a management company? Lu Wanner seemed to have recovered a little, but her face was still a little red. In order to let you recover as soon as possible, this is the only way. But will your family agree? Don't you only have 2 years left? So you have to hurry. Lu Wanner said in her heart, I'm not asking you to hurry, you bastardly fan. Will it work? Shin Chen was a little doubtful. It will work. Lu Wanner nodded. Before I returned to China, I helped my family run a company. What I lack now is a little startup capital. I intend to borrow some. Borrow from who? Zhanghua. Lu Wanner screamed again. I don't want that bastard's help. Shin Chen shook his head without hesitation. Let him go to hell. Then who else can I borrow from? Lu Wanner was worried. From Li Fan. Lu Wanner was a little surprised. Yes, that's him. Shin Chen nodded desperately. Don't look down on him, he's very rich. That seems to be earned by him through hard work. As long as our company is run well, he can still make money. Shin Chen said, it's not like we're swindling his money, what's there to be afraid of? That's true. Now that your voice has recovered, if the album sells well, we can indeed make money. Lu Wanner nodded. That's indeed a way to make money. Yes, you see, I'm so good. If there's money, it's all earned by everyone. He. Looking at Shen Chen's proud look, Lu Wanner laughed along with her. Alright, then let's stop talking here. It's too late, I won't disturb your sleep, let's continue talking tomorrow. Chapter 1066. Shen Chen finally left. Lu Wanner quickly stood up, lifted the quilt, and straddled Li Fan's body, her hands clutching Li Fan's neck. You bastard, you dare to disrespect me. I'll kill you. How did I disrespect you? Li Fan pretended to be stupid. My hands were a little itchy just now, so I casually moved. Did I touch anything, dear senior sister? You definitely did it on purpose. Lu Wanner's eyes were a little tearful. I haven't been touched by anyone. Then I did touch you, what about it? Li Fan grabbed Lu Wanner, pulled her into his arms, and pressed her against his chest. Lu Wanner was now lying on Li Fan's body, with her legs spread apart, lying on Li Fan's body in an extremely ambiguous position. Her body softened, feeling that she had no strength at all, and could only feel Li Fan's strong heartbeat. Li Fan. Li Fan did not speak at all. He hugged Lu Wanner and directly kissed her mouth. Lu Wanner had just been heartbroken not long ago, and Li Fan took the opportunity to fill the gap in her heart. This kiss of his had melted Lu Wanner's heart. Enjoy yourself. In any case, the life I want in the future is not the life I want. Why not these 2 years? Just be happy with him. These 2 years. Please be good to me. No matter how many women Li Fan liked, she only had 2 years anyway. At this moment, Lu Wanner was ready to throw caution to the wind. Li Fan did not understand what she meant, but he was now like a clockwork machine, uncontrollably ready to start. As he kissed Lu Wanner, he stretched out his hands, displaying a man's ability to do 2 things at the same time, constantly wandering around Lu Wanner's body. Lu Wanner's body became hotter and hotter. After all, Shen Chen was still in the next room. The more she thought about it, the more excited she became. The 2 of them rolled around on the bed, and the foreplay gradually entered the main scene. After all, it was Lu Wanner's first time, and it was Li Fan's second time. Therefore, he was very patient and slowly stroked Lu Wanner, letting her relax. When Li Fan slowly entered Lu Wanner, she bit her lips and hugged Li Fan tightly. Both of them had tasted the forbidden fruit for the first time, and they soon became addicted. The 2 of them fought from the bed to the floor, beside the window, in front of the computer table, and even made Lu Wanner lie on the wall between her and Shen Chen's room, engaging in an exciting and intense 2-person exercise. He didn't rest for the entire night. When she got up the next day, Lu Wanner could not get out of bed. Li Fan covered her with the quilt. Looking at her beautiful and tired face, Li Fan couldn't help but reach out and gently touch her cheek. Lu Wanner softly snorted, then slightly opened her eyes. She used one hand to block the sunlight from the side. That lazy look made Li Fan want to go wild and have another round. Don't. Lu Wanner reached out and gently pushed Li Fan away. It hurts. My throat is dry. I want to drink water. Okay, I'll go get some water for you. Li Fan lovingly touched Lu Wanner's head. Senior sister, wait for me. He went to the side to pour a glass of water for Lu Wanner, then walked over to help Lu Wanner up and feed her water. Don't. Lu Wanner softly whined. I want you to feed me, okay? Li Fan couldn't do anything about her. He drank a mouthful of water and then fed it to Lu Wanner. Lu Wanner seemed to enjoy it very much. After drinking the water, she comfortably closed her eyes and lay on the bed, like a kitten. It was said that women were like cats and men were like dogs. It seemed like that was really the case. You don't have class today? I want to sleep in, Lu Wanner nodded. You go to class by yourself, okay, then go to sleep. Li Fan couldn't wash up here. The bathroom was downstairs and Shen Chen was still there. Go ahead and wash up, Lu Wanner reminded Li Fan. Shen Chen won't wake up until noon. There's a new toothbrush in the bathroom cabinet. Just use my toiletries. They're all gray. The pink one is Shin-chen's. Don't use it wrongly. Got it. Li Fan then went out with a peace of mind and tiptoed to the bathroom downstairs. As Lu Wanner said, Shin-chen was still sleeping. The living room was quiet and there was no movement at all. Li Fan breathed a sigh of relief. He began to wash his face and brush his teeth. The towel still had Lu Wanner's fragrance on it. It smelled very comfortable. Wanna, you're up so early. Do you have class today? Shin-chen's voice suddenly came from outside the door. Li Fan was shocked. Fuck, how did this woman wake up? Didn't she say that she wouldn't get up until noon? Li Fan quickly closed the bathroom door and locked it. Wanner? Shin-chen tugged at the door, but it didn't budge. Wanner? Why did you lock the door? What are you doing? Shin-chen's voice kept ringing outside. I got up early to talk to you about the agency. Open the door. Shin-chen kept banging on the door. Li Fan couldn't do anything about it. He finished washing up and opened the door. Shin-chen happened to bump into Li Fan. At this time, Shin-chen was only wearing a black camisole and lace panties, revealing a pair of long legs. Moreover, she was not wearing any underwear. Under the camisole, 2 points were faintly protruding, which was very eye-catching. Ah! Shin-chen let out a scream. Why are you here? Wanna asked me to come. Li Fan took a good look at her. She said it was to discuss the agency. He admired himself for being able to make up such an awesome excuse. He was really a talent. Li Fan really wanted to kowtow to himself in front of the mirror, but he held back. Now was not the time to be arrogant. He had to be low-key. All right. Shin-chen suddenly realized, it seems like that's what happened. Yeah, I just went to the bathroom and heard you banging on the door. It scared me. Li Fan pretended to be scared. I even held back my urine. Come on, how can you be scared? What kind of person are you, Li Fan? Shin-chen knew Li Fan's strength like the back of her hand. Li Fan was a little surprised. According to what Wang Luo told him on the boat, he should have brainwashed Shin-chen. The brainwashing this time should make Shin-chen forget what happened in London. This was also a kind of protection for her. But how could she still remember? This was impossible. Are you wondering why I still remember? Shin-chen suddenly laughed, which made Li Fan a little flustered. He was flustered, mainly because he was worried that Shin-chen would find out that he had been looking at her exposed spots. This girl, it seemed like she didn't remember that she was wearing so little. Shin-chen cried out in surprise again. Chapter 1067. Shin-chen screamed again. Li Fan retracted his gaze. What are you doing? Pervert. Shin-chen seemed to have finally come to her senses and remembered the unique clothes she was wearing. After she screamed, she wanted to slap Li Fan. But what kind of person was Li Fan? How could he take this? He took a step back and dodged Shin-chen's hand. But at this moment, the bucket next to him suddenly flew up and hit Li Fan's head, but he caught it in his hand. Li Fan felt a little strange. Was this telekinesis? You see, this is the situation. Shin-chen wrapped the bath towel around her body and said, now as long as I get emotional, this will happen. Telekinesis? I don't know. Anyway, I felt that I forgot something in my mind last time. After a headache, I remembered this thing. Is that so? Li Fan thought for a moment. It seemed that when the devil left Shin-chen, he left a part of his power in her body. Li Fan only hoped that the power he left behind was not too much, so as not to affect Shin-chen too much. When you're emotionally calm, will there be telekinesis? Li Fan asked. No, it's usually very quiet. Shin-chen shook her head. No different from an ordinary person. Don't think too much. You're an ordinary person. Li Fan hurriedly said. It's just a slightly abnormal power, don't take it to heart. If I don't take this kind of thing to heart, then how big of a heart do I have? Anyway, just keep your emotions calm. This is the most difficult thing for me. Shin-chen was particularly unhappy. Okay, Miss Shin, aren't we here to talk about the agency? Li Fan glanced upstairs. After I arrived, I found that senior sister hasn't woken up yet. I guess she'll sleep until noon. I'll come back at noon. She didn't get up early. Shin didn't think much about it. She probably didn't believe that her best friend would sleep with Li Fan. She probably didn't sleep well last night because I was chatting with her. She looked at the time. It's still early. I'm going to take a nap. Come back at noon. All right. Li Fan heaved a sigh of relief. He was finally fooled. See you at noon. Be careful. Got it. Shen was a little impatient. Why aren't you leaving yet? Are you waiting to sleep with me? Can I? Fine my ass. Let's go. Li Fan laughed heartily as he walked out. It was quite interesting to tease Shin. It was rare for Li Fan to come to class, so there was quite a commotion in the Chinese department. Looking at the campus celebrity sitting in the classroom, holding a textbook and listening attentively, the surrounding students said all sorts of things. This is Li Fan. He's quite handsome. Is Li Fan? He looks a little ordinary, not even as good as me. The surrounding students were whispering about Li Fan. This was an English class. Liao Wushuang stood on the podium and looked at Li Fan with an indifferent gaze. In public, Liao Wushuang had always behaved normally so as not to cause unnecessary influence. "Io, second brother, you're finally in class," Wang Yang said with a face full of emotion. "I read your fortune yesterday and it bodes ill for you. I was scared. I'm relieved to be able to see you today. I told you I'm fine. When has your fortune ever been accurate?" Zhao Yingjun muttered at the side. "I asked you to read when I could find a partner, but you never got it right." "Fuck, how is it not accurate?" Wang Yang immediately ridiculed. "You read when Lu Wan will like you. Didn't I tell you? It's impossible. Is there a need to read it?" Wang Ying, who was listening at the side, said venomously, "Look at him, who would like him? Not only is he stupid, but his brain is also not good." Zhao Yingjun seemed to be speechless. That stupid and brain are not good, shouldn't they mean the same thing? Wang Yang lowered his voice and asked Li Fan. "Well, she probably said it wrong." Li Fan analyzed. "I think what she wants to say is that she's ugly and her brain isn't working well." Wang Yang nodded again and again, seemingly reaching an agreement. "Isn't that Lu Wanner? Why is she here?" Zhao Yingjun suddenly saw a student sneaking in from the door and was surprised. "Oh my God! Could it be that she discovered her love for me and came to see me? You think too much." Wang Yang glared at him and then looked at Lu Wan. "Is senior sister's foot broken? Why is she limping?" Li Fan couldn't help but want to cough. Li Fan. When Zhao Yingjun wanted to say hello to Lu Wan, she had already sat next to Li Fan and put a breakfast in Li Fan's arms. "I remember, you probably haven't eaten breakfast, so I specially bought breakfast for you." Zhao Yingjun burst into tears. What situation is this? Senior sister Lu Wan actually bought breakfast for Li Fan. Heavens, why didn't he buy breakfast for himself? "Why are you up? Don't you want to rest for a while?" Li Fan hurriedly asked. "I can't sleep, I'm afraid you're hungry." Lu Wan pointed at the breakfast. "I specially went to the door to buy you sushi. When Mr. Abe heard it was bought for you, he personally cooked it." Would a senior sister be so good to a junior brother? Wang Ying and the others were guessing, could it be that Li Fan has already conquered Lu Wan? "Thank you, senior sister, I will consider your matter." Li Fan's understatement made the people around him seem to understand something. It turned out that Lu Wan asked Li Fan to do something? That's easy to understand. "You're the most cunning." Lu Wan lowered her voice. "Hurry up and eat something, don't starve." The classroom was very big. If someone was eating, the teacher would not notice. Especially Liao Wushuang, even if she saw him eating, she would not lose her temper. However, Li Fan secretly ate sushi in front of so many people, which made him somewhat embarrassed. "Should I feed you?" Lu Wan asked. I'll do it myself." Li Fan was afraid of scaring other students, so he hurriedly refused his senior sister's kindness. Li Fan did not dare to speak. He took out his phone, eating sushi while sending a WeChat message to Lu Wan. Does it still hurt? Lu Wan replied with a crying emoji. Everything was said without words. Lu Wan was his first woman. Although he seemed to have done it with imperial concubine Zhou, it was not led by his own consciousness, so it should not be counted. Go back and rest quickly, don't break your body. That's also because you broke it. Lu Wan's words made Li Fan's heart itch again. He looked at the spacious classroom and then looked at the last row, which was almost empty. Should I do it in this classroom? Chapter 1068. Lu Wana realized Li Fan's intentions and couldn't help but secretly pinch Li Fan. This guy, at this time, he was still thinking of naughty things. It's not convenient right now. Maybe next time. Lu Wana's words left no room for maneuver. Li Fan couldn't help but snicker. It seemed like university life was quite blissful. Yeah, I'm a little tired. Lu Wana gently leaned on Li Fan and closed her eyes. The surrounding people all sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Wana and Li Fan were too intimate. Many of Lu Wana's personal guards were extremely sad and indignant when they saw this. If it were any other guy who dared to be so close to their goddess, they would definitely be beaten up by them. But this was Li Fan, the president of the Martial Arts Society, the school bully. Who would dare to fight with him? Those who dared to find trouble with him were like lighting a lamp in the toilet, looking for shit. Zhao Yingjun also had tears streaming down his face. It seemed like his dream was finally shattered. Right now, even a fool could see that Lu Wana's heart was already hanging on second brother's body. It was over, everything was over. His ultimate university dream. Shen Chen had confessed to Li Fan, and Lu Wana also liked Li Fan. How could he continue? What kind of reincarnation was second brother? Why did he attract so many girls, and all of them were top-notch beauties? It wasn't fair. God, why did you have to create a person like second brother? How were other men supposed to live like this? If one day I suddenly left, what would you do? I would look for you. Li Fan answered without hesitation. Senior wants to leave? It's not that easy. No matter where you go, I will catch you and bring you back. Li Fan's roguelike answer made Lu Wana very satisfied. She didn't expect this guy to be so good at coaxing girls once he let himself go. If only he was alone. Lu Wana suddenly felt that she was a little greedy. After all, she only had 2 years left. How could she ask for more? It's better to quietly enjoy this short university life. At least for now, it's pretty good. Let me be greedy for a while longer. The morning classes passed quickly. At noon, Li Fan and Lu Wan went to the ramen restaurant at the back door of the school. In terms of chatting, this ramen restaurant was indeed a good place. Abe Say had specially prepared a quiet cubicle for Li Fan. Inside was a pure Japanese tatame. If a geisha were to serve him, Li Fan would feel that he had completely fallen. However, it seemed pretty good to have the islanders serve him. Mr. Abe, you can go ahead with your work. We can handle this by ourselves. Looking at Abe Ching, who personally prepared sashimi for them, Li Fan hurriedly advised. Do you want to talk about something? All right, I'll leave now. Abe Ching bowed to Li Fan. If there's anything you need, just press this bell and I'll come over immediately. With that, Abe Seiji tactfully backed away from the cubicle. Hey, I still want to eat that volcano hot pot. Shen Chen was a little regretful. There's no more ingredients today. How annoying. You foodie, that's not convenient for us to talk about things. Li Fan couldn't help but laugh. Are you here to eat hot pot or to talk about the management company? Let's talk while eating. Shen Chen giggled. Isn't the Chinese tradition to settle everything at the dining table? Including having children? Li Fan squinted his eyes. You're so naughty. Lu Wan gently patted Li Fan's hand. Don't talk nonsense. Shen Chen frowned slightly, feeling that there was something strange between the two of them. Were they already so intimate with each other? For some reason, Shen Chen felt a little unhappy in his heart. All right, stop messing around. Let's talk about today's key issue. Li Fan pretended to be serious, making the two girls not know whether to laugh or cry. He was obviously the most indecent one. The management company, Xiaowan and I talked for a while. I think with Shen Chen's current voice, there should be no problem. After being possessed by the devil, Shen Chen's voice had also recovered. Her voice was indeed unparalleled in the world. As long as she could record a good album and create some positive news about Shen Chen in advance, it would definitely give Shen Chen a second chance. Li Fan told Shen Chen this idea, causing Shen Chen to roll her eyes. Damn, you're the second chance. Exactly, how old is Shen Chen? You're the second chance. Lu Wanair also scolded Li Fan, you're not reliable at all. How can we rely on you? Alright, it's my fault. Li Fan now liked Lu Wanair's way of doing things. Whatever she said, he would do. In terms of funds, I can personally come up with 1 million. This is almost all of my savings. You actually have so much savings. Lu Wanair was a little surprised. Is the escort agency that profitable? This is my personal savings. I haven't calculated the money for the escort agency business. Li Fan asked Lin Yuechin to help him calculate. Excluding the money I'm going to use to open a martial arts school, the escort agency can provide me with another 10 million. I can't come up with more money. After all, the escort agency's business hasn't been particularly good recently. The two girls were a little speechless. Is this still called having no money? Hey, don't you understand working capital? Li Fan laughed. This is venture capital money. Only projects that make money can be taken out. Moreover, I've said it before, I believe this management company can make money. He could make money and also help Shen Chen and Lu Wan. Why not? More than 10 million. That's enough to set up a simple small company. Lu Wanair seemed to be better in this area. Shen Chen, you should know a lot of people in the entertainment industry, producers and the like. As long as we have this network, we can go much smoother. This, Shen Chen curled his lips, this bunch of grandsons, all burning bridges after crossing the river. Now they don't even care about me. I'm afraid this is caused by your usual temper. Li Fan added another strike without hesitation. In this circle, there are many people with bad tempers. Lu Wanair reminded Li Fan, it's mainly because of Shen Chen's family. Now, what we lack is the problem of connections. Jessica's connections are also good. Shen Chen thought for a moment, then said, she should be able to help. Where is she now? Li Fan asked. Well, she seems to have left her original company, probably looking for a new one. According to her qualifications and connections, it shouldn't be difficult to find. Hire her with a high salary. Li Fan said without hesitation, whether she comes or not, it's the key to whether you can shine again. Whether you can become famous again. Chapter 1069. In the time it took to have a meal, the few of them finalized the matters of the agency. Lu Wanair went to handle the company registration. Shen Chen was in charge of hiring Jessica. As for Li Fan, he was just an investor. All he had to do was pay. After the three of them finished talking, they were about to go out when a skinny boy walked in from the opposite direction. He looked very ordinary and short. He bumped his head into Li Fan's chest. He flew out and was caught by Li Fan. I'm sorry, classmate. Are you okay? The boy raised his head and glanced at Li Fan. Then he took out a photo, put on his glasses and compared it carefully. Are you Li Fan? The boy asked. Yes, you are. Great, I found you. The boy laughed. You can go to hell. Any a monkey. As soon as he finished speaking, a red monkey jumped out from behind him. Li Fan was right. This guy was indeed a monkey. It was about 1/2 meter tall, covered in red hair. Only the tip of its tail and claws were white. The monkey jumped in front of Li Fan in the blink of an eye and slapped Li Fan's chest. Bang! Amidst the exclamations of the two girls, Li Fan was directly sent flying, directly smashing a table in the restaurant. So weak. The boy squatted at the door, holding his chin and looking at Li Fan in confusion. Why did you send me to kill such a weak person? Lu Wanair was about to call the police, but the boy smiled at her. Big sister, don't mess around. Although I shouldn't attack ordinary people, I still have the immunity to murder. The boy said those terrifying words, but he smiled innocently, causing Lu Wanner, who was looking at him, to be secretly alarmed. This boy looked like he was only 15 or 16 years old, but he could talk about murder so casually. Who is he? Juan, this is my business. Don't interfere. Mr. Abe, please close the door. Li Fan knew that the target was coming for him. Since he had no intention of harming others, that was the best. Friend, don't you think it's a little inappropriate to fight in broad daylight? Li Fan patted the dust off his body and got up. He looked at the boy squatting at the door and asked, how should I put it? Actually, my monkey is a bit impatient. The little boy shrugged his shoulders and put on a cool look. It's not like my dull personality at all. The monkey jumped up again and stepped on the chandelier as if it was swinging. It squeaked and swayed excitedly. Even if you're here to kill me, you should at least report your name first. There were a few shocked diners around them, staring at them in a daze. Some of them came to their senses and took out their phones from their pockets. Li Fan glanced at them and calmly sat on a chair, as if he wasn't surprised at all. The 12 divine generals. The boy took out a special plate and showed it to Li Fan. The plate was carved out of black jade, about the size of half a palm, and he held it in his hand. The black jade was carved with the character monkey in seal script. This is my proof of identity. Do you see it? That monkey is called Enya monkey. We belong to Huaxia, and we're a weapon of Huaxia. Li Fan was surprised, but he didn't show it on his face. Then what crime did I commit? Why are you here to kill me? Big brother, the crimes you've committed are too numerous to list. The boy said with a little disdain, it doesn't matter to me. But I have to come because of the task given by my superiors. Enya monkey, kill him so we can go back early. It's so hot here. It seemed that this guy lived in the capital most of the time. Things seem to be a little tricky. If so, it seems that I can't escape today. Li Fan stretched out his hands. I surrender. Take me back. Li Fan? Lu Wanner was a little anxious. Shen Chen couldn't help but stretch out his hand, as if he was going to use his spiritual power. It's okay. I know what I'm doing. Since it's a government organization, they won't wrong me. Li Fan gave them a comforting smile. I surrender, little friend. The boy was a little stunned, as if he didn't expect Li Fan to have such an option. Enya monkey, he surrendered. He looked up at the monkey helplessly. What should I do? Did the superiors say we can catch him alive? The monkey bounced a few times, then nodded desperately. All right, you managed to keep your life. The boy took off a pair of handcuffs. These are made of special metal. Even an elephant can't break free. Come back with me. Please help me apply for a leave from school. Li Fan said, I'll be back in 2 days. But Lu Wanner nodded, but there was still some worry in her eyes. What do you need me to do, Li Fan? Although Shen Chen usually liked to bicker with Li Fan, she seemed very serious at this time. She didn't want anything to happen to Li Fan. I have a pot of cactus on the balcony. Those guys in the dormitory are not reliable. You and one, they can take care of it for me. Li Fan said after thinking for a moment. You won't have a chance to come back. The boy reminded him, stay in prison for the rest of your life? Well, I think it's enough for you to die 7 or 8 times for your crimes. Little friend, don't speak so early. I'm not sure whether I'll die or not. Li Fan chuckled and seemed to be full of confidence. Look too much. Let's go. The little boy grabbed Li Fan and pulled him out of the noodle shop and outside. What car are we going to take? After Li Fan came out, he asked slowly, for a senior government civil servant like you, it must be a Bentley class or above when you go out, right? I only take the extended Bentley, the kind with a refrigerator. Then prepare some red wine for me, Lafite will do. I don't want the 82-year one, it's too vulgar. I like the 90-year one. You're really carefree. The boy couldn't help but turn his head and look at Li Fan strangely. Aren't you afraid of death? Of course I'm afraid. Who isn't afraid of death? Li Fan replied without hesitation, But I'm so young, it's still early for me to die. A wonderful life is still waiting for me. How long do you think you can live? The boy curled his lips. I'll send you to the airport in a moment. Soon, I'll send you to the capital and let you receive the trial you deserve there. Chapter 1070. It was a private plane that was responsible for escorting Li Fan. In less than a day, he was sent to the secret airport in the capital and then escorted by a military vehicle directly to a military area in the capital. Setting the base in the military area? As Li Fan walked, he looked at the surrounding environment. There are patrolling soldiers all around, one group after another, well-trained, strictly guarding. Really impressive. You talk a lot. The little boy seemed a little impatient. Li Fan looked at him with a smile. What? You don't allow me to talk. Say it, say it. The little boy was a little depressed. Anyway, you're going to die. You're really considerate. Li Fan did not know whether to thank him or ridicule him. By the way, why is that monkey of yours so powerful? Don't ask me, I don't want to talk to you. The little boy took Li Fan to a white building and seemed to be relieved. Soon, there will be specialized people to deal with you. Really? A man or a woman? You'll see soon. Didn't you say you don't want to talk to me? How could this little boy win against Li Fan? He was soon rendered speechless. He was almost exasperated as he slammed the door. Hey, such a high-tech place, there's no password door or something? Li Fan asked in surprise. None of your business. The little boy was embarrassed to say that he forgot to bring the key card. You forgot to bring the key card again. A girl's voice came out along with the open door. What an idiot. Seeing the girl in front of him, Li Fan was stunned for a moment. Her delicate face, petite figure, looks like she's only 13 or 14 years old. She actually works here? Don't you dare. The little boy said angrily, I'll leave this person to you. You handle it. The little loli raised her head and carefully looked at Li Fan. You actually caught him alive. Yeah, who am I? The little boy pursed his lips. As a mature big brother, you can just rely on me. Come on, you're only 3 years older than me. The little loli said in disgust, and people who like to pretend to be mature are the most annoying. As she said that, she grabbed the chain that bound Li Fan. Come with me, Mr. Murderer. Yo, my title isn't bad. Li Fan did not resist and followed him in. The young man successfully handed over Li Fan and heaved a sigh of relief. However, he did not leave. Instead, he brought his red-haired monkey and followed behind Li Fan. Little girl, are you one of the 12 heavenly generals? It was a long and stuffy corridor leading to the underground base. Li Fan was bored and couldn't help but ask. This, uncle. The little loli wearing a cute little dress reminded Li Fan of Murong AI in the past. However, Murong AI is now a big girl and is no longer the little loli from back then. And the person in front of him has a strange temper. Calling him uncle made Li Fan a little unhappy. Are you 12 heavenly generals arranged according to the zodiac? Li Fan just casually asked. He did not expect the little loli and the young man to be a little surprised. They looked at each other and then the little loli said to Li Fan, How did you know? Damn, it's true. Li Fan couldn't help but want to laugh. I was just casually guessing. Your guess is quite accurate. That's right, we are arranged according to the 12 zodiac. The little loli sighed. This kind of ancient tradition is the most boring. How good would it be if there was a saint from the 12 zodiac? Hey, don't talk nonsense. The young man reminded her, we have the 12 sacred beasts. They are the guardian of China. But who wants a pig? The little loli stamped her feet, and a little white pig walked over from the corner. The little white pig was the size of a teddy bear. It puffed and followed the little loli. Wow, so cute. Li Fan licked his lips, and it looks delicious. Uncle, you have such a strong taste. Hey, don't you like roast suckling pig? Of course not. Eating too much meat will make people stink. I should eat more vegetables. The little girl said while eating the beef jerky in her hand. If you like this pig, I can give it to you. Hey, stop fooling around. Although any pig is a little stupid, it is still an important sacred beast. Do you want to exchange? The little girl looked at her companion. Exchange my second senior brother for your brother monkey? How can I do that? Any monkey? He can't leave me. The young man crossed his arms and pretended to be cool. You can be like him and rely on me a little more. I don't need to rely on you. The little girl pulled open the door next to her. We're here. Go in. As she spoke, she pushed Li Fan from behind. No one knew where this girl got the strength from, but she actually pushed Li Fan a few steps and he fell into the house. So violent. Li Fan was pushed onto a chair. After sitting down, he was put on iron cuffs. These are super alloy shackles, the little girl said while fiddling with various instruments of torture. Hey, you can't do this. The young man hurriedly shouted, we are not allowed to torture people. What if we kill him? Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. The little girl held a chainsaw and said with a smile, he will definitely live. Then I really have to thank you. Li Fan was not the least bit afraid. He even winked at the little girl. Little girl, what's your name? Zhang Xinran. The little girl said while starting the chainsaw. But we, the 12 generals, have long abandoned our names. I only left a code name, 12. 12? That's not bad. Li Fan nodded. It seems that you are the youngest one here. Uncle, you are very smart. The little lowly nodded. I'm indeed the youngest one, but I'm the one who has the most fun. Come on, I will take Uncle to heaven. With that, the little girl raised the rotating chainsaw and slowly cut toward Li Fan's hand. You have to call me nicer. The chainsaw fell on Li Fan's arm, creating golden sparks. But Li Fan's arm was unscathed, as if it was wrapped in a layer of steel. Huh! The little girl was a little surprised. The little white pig was also snorting and swaying at her feet. Strange, are you an android? Zhang Xinran looked at Li Fan inexplicably. The chainsaw doesn't work? Are you a monster? You don't seem to be qualified to say that about me. Li Fan smiled. Don't you have a monster with you? Chapter 1071. They are not monsters. The little boy immediately reminded Li Fan. They are the 12 sacred beasts that guard China. Alright, they are indeed monsters. The little lowly increased the horsepower of the chainsaw and the motor issued a buzzing sound. Oh right, he is called number 10. His original name is Luo. Luo what? Radish leg? Luo Hausen. His name is number 10. The little lowly simplified the conversation between them. Alright, you do what you need to do, I will ask my questions. Li Fan watched as the little lowly placed the chainsaw on his neck, creating a large amount of golden sparks. What is the origin of this pig and monkey? They seem quite powerful. Sacred beast, these are the sacred beasts that have been passed down from generation to generation. As if to prove to the sacred beasts, number 10 repeatedly emphasized, each generation of them will also breed and give birth to the next generation of sacred beasts. It is said that since ancient times, the 12 sacred beasts have been protecting us humans. Therefore, the story of the 12 zodiac was based on them. Sounds awesome. Li Fan could not help but praise. Then can you give me one? It must be interesting to raise it as a pet. If you want, I will give you my pig. The little lowly kicked the little white pig. Bastard, don't eat my pants. How many times have I said it? You foodie. This pig is so pitiful. Li Fan could not help but feel distressed, to have such a violent master like you. Am I violent? The little lowly innocently looked at Li Fan. I don't think so. Why do I feel that I am very kind? Before saying this, put down your chainsaw, the effect will be better, right? Li Fan asked. Who knows, but let's continue to play. I haven't had enough fun yet. The little lowly found that the chainsaw was not easy to use and could not help but sigh. Looks like the chainsaw won't work. Is your body really made of copper skin and iron bones? That's not it. Li Fan calmly said, this is the true chi that protects my body. Ordinary chainsaws will not work. Interesting. The little loli licked her lips. Then let's play something more exciting. As she spoke, she picked up 2 wires from the side and turned up the power of the electrical box. Are you crazy? Number 10 was a little surprised. If you use this, he will definitely be electrocuted to a crisp. Even elephants can't stand it. He's much more fun than elephants. As the little loli spoke, she connected the 2 electrodes to Li Fan's body. Uncle, I hope we have a good time. Okay, let's be more exciting. Li Fan gave the little loli an encouraging look. I'll make you feel good. The little loli ignored number 10 and pressed the switch. The monkey jumped onto the electric box and watched as the meter on the electric box kept increasing. 2 electrodes were connected to Li Fan's body, and a crazy electric current instantly rushed into his body. The lights above his head flickered. It was indeed a little strange. Li Fan sat there. To him, this thing was no different from a power bank. Li Fan has a move called Rushing Thunder Kick and another move called God Slayer. He could already convert the electric current into a kind of energy and store it in his body. The voltage in the room was messed up, but Li Fan was still calmly sitting there, not affected at all. Aya! The little loli bit her finger and looked at the relaxed Li Fan. Even electric shock doesn't work. This guy is a bit strange. Even the little boy number 10 was a little puzzled. If this guy is so strong, why did he surrender to me? This is really strange. It's not exciting enough. Li Fan yawned. Is there anything more exciting, children? Or, let your family's adults do it? Are you looking down on us? Number 10 was a little unhappy. The monkey jumped down from the electric box and climbed onto his back, jumping up and down, seemingly in sync with his mood. Li Fan said lazily, "You see, isn't this the case? I came all the way here, but in the end it's not fun at all. How dare a prisoner speak such arrogant words?" Number 10 stared at Li Fan. When the commander comes, you will behave. Commander? Li Fan felt that he finally got some useful information. It seems that this so-called department of the 12 sacred beasts should be under the direct control of the military. Uncle, don't tell me you want to run away? The little loli couldn't help but ridicule Li Fan. Impossible, you can't escape here. That sounds pretty scary. Li Fan moved his neck in the electric current. I'm hungry, can you two prepare something to eat? I'm not picky when it comes to food. I'll just buy a serving of Yang Guifu's malatang. Don't put any white vegetables in it. Green vegetables, no spinach, no lettuce. Also, don't put rice powder in it. Just put more bean paste and more spicy. Look at the situation, you're still so arrogant. Number 10 slammed the table. I'm not buying it for you. Go hungry. Alright, then I won't bother you too, I'll buy it myself. As Li Fan spoke, he shook his wrist and broke the iron buckle that was fastened on it. Under the dumbfounded gazes of the two, Li Fan stood up and stretched his body. Oh, my body is stiff after sitting on the plane for so long. Give me an electric shock, it'll feel much better. 12, listen to me, don't work for the government, go out and open an electrotherapy room, I guarantee that your business will be good. You're a monster. Number 10 couldn't close his mouth for a long time, while Lolita was looking at Li Fan with interest, as if she was looking at an interesting prey. What flavor of spicy hot pot would you like? I'll bring it back for you. Li Fan walked to the door and asked, Where are you going? As soon as number 10 came to his senses, he immediately sent the monkey to attack. Any a monkey, catch him. As he spoke, the monkey rushed forward like a meteor, pouncing on Li Fan and slapping Li Fan's cheek. Li Fan moved to the side and reached out to push the monkey. He directly used the force to push the monkey away. 6. Lolita couldn't help but praise, But uncle, our sacred beast won't be defeated so easily. As soon as she said this, the monkey had already stepped on the wall, jumped in front of Li Fan again, and struck again. Li Fan dodged to the side, while the monkey showed off its skills in the room, jumping back and forth, moving at high speed, and attacking Li Fan again and again. Li Fan used the crane's hand to knock away the monkey that pounced on him. Ursa Major Seal. Lee Fan suddenly pulled out his palm and slapped the monkey's body, imprinting the monkey into the wall. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.